Hey, Melanie. Sorry. The guys invited me out for a few drinks. I just couldn't refuse. Really sorry. There were some people who came from out of town. I just couldn't get out of it.
Forget about it. No problem. I mean, the wedding plans are all set to go. There's nothing else to do. We're home free. But don't overdo it just because it's your last night as a bachelor. I hear all these stories of bachelor parties. None of that, okay? Oh, yeah, you said you were staying over at your buddy's place? So don't you dare be late. This is the most important day of our lives.
How could I be late for our wedding? I'll get up hours before that. Besides, I don't plan on drinking that much. Don't worry. Have I ever been late for work or on one of our dates? So relax. No worries.
Anyway, I'm gonna spend my last night as a single woman with your mom tonight. Actually, I wanted to spend the evening with just the family, but that's okay. It's been years since my parents passed, and I'm grateful for your mom for inviting me over. She's been strangely kind to me recently.
I really didn't think you and Mom would get along so well. You guys seem like the complete opposite. To be honest, I really didn't expect it. I mean, my mom can be a little difficult, but I'm glad that you guys can relate.
Huh? Your mom? Difficult? No way! Actually, she's been very nice.
She's just kind to you, Melanie. She can be pretty intimidating to me. She probably thinks of you as her daughter. You're closer to her than I am. She always wanted a daughter.
Well, I will be her daughter very soon.
Yeah, you're right. I'm really glad that you guys are on good terms.
Oh yeah, about tomorrow? I'm gonna stay over at your mom's place and head over to the wedding hall early tomorrow morning with her. Mom suggested I stay over. She knew I would be super nervous, and she's right. I probably couldn't sleep otherwise. I brought the dress over here. Mom will help me get dressed and all, so don't worry, and what's more, don't be late.
Great! I'll leave that to you guys. Okay then. See you tomorrow morning.
Yeah, see you in the morning. Like I said, don't overdo it, but have fun. And no girls, you got that?
Come on! I would never do that. Just a few drinks with the guys. That's it. I only have eyes for you, Melanie. You know that.
All right, I trust you. Just never forget that. See you tomorrow.
Hey, Melanie. How's it going? Are you getting prepared? Mom told me not to come into the dressing room until you're finished. How's it coming along? I can't stand this wait any longer. I can't wait to see you in that wedding gown. Bet you look great. I'm all ready to go. How much longer do you think it'll take? We really should be out there for a bit of rehearsal. Sorry, are you still busy? I don't mind waiting a bit more.
Brad? That's not me.
Huh? What's up?
I want you to cancel today's wedding. Don't get duped into marrying that fake bride. That's not me. She's a fake.
Huh? What are you talking about? This is no time to be kidding around. You're in the room right now, right? Aren't you getting your hair done right now? And what do you mean you want to cancel the wedding? Does that mean you don't want to marry me?
No, that's not it. You don't understand. That woman at the wedding hall, that's not me.
Huh? Are you nuts? What are you saying? Sorry. Melanie, are you okay? Did you drink too much last night? What's up? Aren't you in the dressing room with Mom? You came here this morning with Mom, right? What's going on here?
I think that woman is someone that Mom found somewhere. It's not me. That woman in the dressing room, the person you're about to marry, that's not me. I'm at your mother's place now, in the cellar.
Huh? What are you talking about? This is crazy. Hold on a second. Let me catch my breath for a second. I'm gonna go take a look. hang on. Oh my god. You're right. That's not That's definitely not you. I took a peek in the dressing room. That's not you. The hair is all wrong. She's way taller. What the hell is this? Who the hell is that? I only saw her from behind, but her hair is longer. And her shoulders really wide. She's definitely twice your size.
I don't know who she is, but last night your mom and I had a few drinks. She made me drink one drink after another. She kept insisting. I thought a few drinks would be fine. By the time I realized what was going on, I conked out and found myself locked in the cellar.
What? How could she? She knows perfectly well you can't drink that much. Did she purposely serve you alcohol? She put you in the cellar? No way she would do such a thing.
Well, it looks that way. She was just putting on an act. She never accepted me as your future wife. She was just giving me the impression that she was a good mother-in-law. And I fell for it. When I came to, I could hear she was still in the house, and I yelled out at her to let me out, but she laughed and said I was not suited for you, that I would make a terrible wife for her precious son. Can you believe it? She said she already had a more suitable wife ready for you. She would never let me marry you.
What? Has she gone totally bonkers? How could she do that to us?
I don't know. I believed her. I thought everything was going to be great. What are we going to do? Did I do something to her? I mean, something to get on her bad side? Why does she despise me so much? So much that she would lock me in a cellar to prevent me from marrying you?
There is nothing wrong with you, Melanie. You did nothing wrong. To make you drink. Basically drugging you and dragging you into that cellar. That's not normal. Mom is definitely planning something. I'm heading over there right now.
Thanks, Brad. Please, hurry. I'm really sorry I couldn't get a hold of you sooner. I just couldn't get a signal down here in the cellar. Finally got one bar near the window. So glad I caught you in time, or else you...
Come on, Melanie. There won't be a wedding without you. I'm not gonna marry some stranger. Are you kidding me? I'll contact as many of the attendees as possible and get this wedding postponed. I'm on my way, so hang tight for a bit longer. And sorry to have to put you through this.
Brad, pick up! How could you do this to me? I've never been so embarrassed in my life. Do you know what you've done? I mean, to just walk out of the wedding. Are you out of your mind?
Huh? Out of my mind? That's what I should be saying to you! What you did is unforgivable! You completely ruined our wedding plans! How could you do this? Melanie and I planned this for months and you had to mess it all up! And I thought you guys were getting along. I should have known!
You ruined everything! You do understand the predicament we're in, don't you? You know perfectly well that our company is not doing well. We're on the verge of bankruptcy. Or don't you even care? If we lose that account with Mr. Rubin, our company will definitely go under. We're done.
What's that got to do with anything?
If you marry Mr. Rubin's daughter, he'll retain the account. And what's more, we'll be family, and our company will be saved. What's wrong with you? We've known the Rubin family for years. You know their daughter. Why run from a good arrangement? You marry her, and we're set for life.
Are you serious? Can't believe you, Mother! Have you even stopped to think what I thought? About my feelings? No doubt I want to save the company from ruin. Of course. Dad built this company. That's why I've been proposing various ideas to save this company, but you would not listen. Do you really think if I marry the daughter of a major client that it would save the company? You are delusional! Stop coming up with these dumb ideas and think in more practical terms. There are plenty of other things we could fix to make this company work.
If we can get through this current slump, we'll be okay. That's all we have to do. Just get the company propped up while I'm alive. That's all I ask.
Huh? You are delusional. You're the president of the company, for God's sakes. What the hell are you talking about? This is a small company, but we do have several employees. Or have you forgotten about them? We have a responsibility to look after our employees and their families. They rely on us for their livelihood. For once in your life, why can't you think about others? Stop always thinking about yourself. You really have a screw missing, Mom. I can't believe this.
Shut up! Please shut your mouth! Because of you, this whole thing is ruined. You really did it this time, Brad. And what's more, Mr. Rubin's daughter was very fond of you. She could have made you happy. When you finally brought a girl home, I figured she would be someone of substance. But she turned out to be a useless girl who doesn't even have parents, for crying out loud. If you want to marry someone, I would prefer that it be someone more socially advantaged. Someone that would be of some merit. Not some girl off the street.
Is that all you have to say? Okay, Mom. If the company is so precious to you, you make it more successful. Make it more profitable by yourself. Can you even do that? Or do you need me to marry someone rich? You're using us like pawns in your little diabolical scheme. Maybe it would be better if this company just went under. Maybe it would be better for all involved.
Melanie, are you there? Please reply. I know you see my messages, so please answer me. I see that you haven't blocked me online yet. Please, I just want to talk to you. Please, it will only be a second. I'm really sorry for what I did. I don't know what I was thinking. So please answer me. Hello, Mother. I thought I told you I never wanted anything to do with you again. You do remember that, don't you? Melanie, thank you for answering. It's Brad. I keep contacting him, but there's no response. I was getting worried. I even went over to the house, but it seems you two have not returned home. How are we supposed to resolve this if we can't even talk it out? So please, where are you guys right now? You're with Brad, right? Please tell me where you are. Do you really think I would tell you after what you did? You ruined our wedding. What normal person would do such a thing? I can't forgive you. No, I will never forgive you. Please, I'm begging you. I said I was sorry for what I did. Do you want me to get down on my hands and knees? We leave things as is, and this company will go under. And we lost our major client. The Rubin Corporation pulled out. Well, I don't blame them. You tricked them into thinking that Brad was going to marry their precious daughter. I bet they were furious. I mean, just imagine. You think your daughter is getting married, and on the day of the wedding, they find out it was just one big scam. I'm surprised they didn't sue you. Also, Brad hadn't even met the Rubins or her daughter before, and they were going to get married? My God, how did you even convince them to go through with it? Pretty impressive, I'll give you that. Bet the relatives on Mr. Rubin's side must have also been flabbergasted. I just figured if Brad got married on that day, well, I figured he wouldn't be able to refuse, and things would eventually work out. That was the only option I had. It was our last chance to save the company. Please understand that. I did it to save the company. Nothing personal. This is our life you're messing with. Did you even stop to think about how we felt? How Brad felt? You really do have a few screws loose. Don't you even know right from wrong? Long ago, it was the parents who chose who their kids married. It was normal. Lots of rich families, even royal families around the world still do it. What's so wrong about that? I know right from wrong, and I thought this was right. Yeah, a long time ago. But we're not super rich or live in a castle. Normal people don't do that anymore. You're living in Fantasyland. Anyway, what do you want? Why did you contact me? Is it just to get me all riled up again? Well, you certainly succeeded. But you know what, Mom? My anger will probably never die down. Forever. I contacted you because I want you to get Brad to return to the office. I need his help. I'll do anything he says. I want him to rebuild the company. Use any method he prefers. So please, ask him to come back. Brad's always been a good businessman, and the clients are very fond of him, so please. If he returns, I am positive that he will turn this company around. Please, I beg of you. He's not going back. He's already made preparations to start his own company, and he has no plans to return. You're on your own, Mother. Huh? Are you serious? Why, he can't do that! Besides, he doesn't have any money to start a new business. Stop making up falsehoods at a time like this. He needs to get back here, and I mean right away. I provided the funds. I invested in his company. Huh? You invested? But you're just a housewife. Why would you have so much money? I think I've mentioned this countless times, but of course you did not bother to hear me. I've been working for home for years now. Well, the money I have was not basically mine to start with, but my parents left me an inheritance when they died. In it, there was some considerable property too. Over the years, I've been using this property. Basically, I'm running a real estate business. You're kidding, right? So, how much is this business of yours? Does that mean you have enough to invest in our company? To help us get back on our feet? I guess it was true what Brad said. He told me when we first met I should keep quiet about my assets and that I owned considerable property. He told me you were very money-oriented, that I should be careful. That's not true! How could he even say that? Listen, Melanie, we're family, right? So please, help me out here. I know that what I did to you was despicable, but I consider you my real daughter. I think we can really hit it off. So please. Please stop right there. I can't stand to hear anymore. To be honest, I feel a little nauseous talking to you. That act you put on, it was all just to get rid of me. If you insist on contacting me any further, I will have to talk with the police. They will take proper action. We seem to be living in two completely different worlds. We can't even converse normally. No, please, you've got it all wrong. I'm sorry for what I did. Please, don't think of me that way. It was all a misunderstanding. Please, believe me. I want to be a good mother-in-law. Please, give me a chance. I've always wanted a daughter. I would be so happy if you could consider me your real mother. Oh, yeah? You already have someone you can call your daughter. Mr. Rubin's daughter. You two agreed on this and concocted this scheme. Am I right? It's not like she knew nothing about me. You would be great for each other. The perfect mother and daughter. Like, not thinking about the consequences of your actions. Or the fact that you guys are a little empty-headed.
After that unfortunate incident, I decided to cut all ties with my mother. But legally, there is no way to completely erase the fact that she's my mom, but I made sure all inheritance from us would never go to her. If anything happens to me, she'll get nothing. It was the least I could do to cut all ties with her. For a while, she tried contacting us constantly, even waiting outside our home and confronting us in public. We contacted the police and a restraining order was put on her. She was not allowed anywhere near us. We changed our phone numbers and even moved out of our current residence. So unless she hires a private investigator, she'll never locate us again. But even if she did find us, we have a restraining order on her. So the rest is up to the police to handle. Eventually, her company went bankrupt and all her belongings were seized and sold off to pay debt and compensation to the remaining employees, which was not much. As a matter of fact, I provided a small retirement fee for each employee out of my own pocket, and even introduced them to new jobs. I felt a responsibility to them. I was not able to turn the company around, so it was partially my fault. It was the least I could do. My mother lost everything after that. And to be honest, I don't know what happened to her. She's not a part of our lives any longer. We have no remorse concerning her current predicament, or even care to know. To us, she no longer exists. We plan to forget all about our past and just look to the future. As for Melanie and I, a few months later, we held a small, intimate wedding with close friends. It was wonderful. After several months, I learned that she was pregnant with our first child. So that means the three of us will start a new life together.
Hey, Dennis, what's up, bro? My bestest of buddies. How you been, man? Pick up. Come on, Dennis. How about a little reply? Stop giving me the brush off, man. You're killing me, bro.
Hey, Brad, what's up? I'm not giving you the brush off, man. We're buddies, right?
Finally! Man, I thought I would never hear from you. What's going on, man?
What's going on? Don't tell me you don't know what day it is.
Huh? What do you mean? Is it your birthday or something?
Yeah, right. No, it's a weekday. Middle of the day. A weekday. People are working hard during this time of day. Well, at least some people.
Really? Is today a weekday? What day was it anyway? You at work now, Dennis?
You bet I am. And what's more, it's Wednesday. The busiest day of the week. Got a bunch of meetings lined up. Actually, I was right in the middle of preparing a presentation. Next meeting's in 20 minutes, so...
Are you serious? Oh man, I apologize. I have no awareness of the date recently.
I know you're a freelancer and all, but you really should get out every now and then.
Oh yeah? Well, you shouldn't always be running around from one meeting to another. You should take it easy every now and then yourself.
Yeah, you could say that again. I don't think I've taken time off in the last 6 months or so. Hey, wanna go drinking this weekend for old time's sake? I could sure use it.
Yes, sir! That's what I'm talking about, buddy. Let's do this. Really looking forward to shooting this shit about old times.
Yeah, sounds great, but how many times do you have to keep repeating the same old stories every time we meet? Like about your antics when we played basketball together in high school.
What do you mean? Those stories from high school are the best. I'll never get tired about talking about them.
Yeah, I get it, man. To be honest, I get to stain it all day myself.
But I wanted to see you for another reason. I have an important announcement to make. Don't get blown away by this.
So, this is why you're all hyped up over it, huh? So what is this important announcement anyway?
Yep. Super hype, man. Would like to meet up in person and tell you. I gotta see that face of yours when I tell you.
You got me in total suspense. Spit it out, man! I can't wait till we meet up. How am I supposed to get any work done until then?
Just wait until we meet up, bro. I mean, you're working right now, right? Got a meeting pretty soon. You better concentrate on work, my man. You're not a freelancer like me. You got people monitoring your every move.
Yeah. Well, I'm on my official company authorized break time right now, so nobody is monitoring me, as you put it. So come on. I need to know now, not this weekend.
I don't want to hinder your work, so I'm gonna do you a favor, Tennis, and make that announcement for you right now. I got married!
Huh? Seriously? You don't say. Hold on a second. Did you just say you're married? Not getting married or planning on getting married, but got married?
Yep, that's right. Sorry I didn't contact you earlier. Already married. Or should I say, she asked me and I said yes. Yeah, I know, should be the other way around.
She asked you? So you're, like, married into her rich family or something?
Not as dumb as you look, Dennis.
Hit the jackpot, huh? Congratulations! Man, this is really good timing. There was something I wanted to convey to you, too.
You too, huh? What, did you get promoted or something? Is it good news or is it bad?
Good news for sure. I'm getting married, too. We're not planning on having a wedding or anything, at least not yet. Just planning on registering a marriage certificate for now.
Congratulations! On paper, but still a real marriage nonetheless. You don't need some elaborate wedding ceremony. Seems a lot of younger couples are taking that route. Too expensive, and it all seems kind of silly.
Yeah, we were first thinking of just not bothering with it at all and just live together, but, you know, hope to get the paperwork done next month. And my fiance has an unusual family name and didn't want to change it. I don't really mind. I'm not all that bothered by it. She could continue using her name.
Oh yeah? Your fiance has an unusual name too, huh?
Two? What do you mean by two? What's this about your fiance too?
Yeah, she preferred not to give up her name. So instead, I became part of her family and took her name.
Man, what a coincidence. Getting married at the same time and on top of that with a girl with an unusual name. You can't make this up. No wonder we're buddies. We always seem eye to eye about everything. Kinda weird, this twist of fate. What's your wife like? What kind of person is she?
Oh man, don't get me started on her. She's cute, she's considerate, she's caring. She's absolutely wonderful. Oh yeah, did I mention she smells like a bouquet of flowers?
Wow, that's some description. Man, I'm starting to feel a little lightheaded.
Yeah, well, I just can't help myself. Hey, do you know Karin? The one who runs that flower shop down near the bus depot?
Yeah, of course I do. That's her. That's my bride-to-be. I'm surprised you know her. What about her?
Huh? Your bride-to-be? Hold it 1 second, Dennis. Not your bride-to-be. She's married to me.
Wait a sec.
Yeah. What the?
The flower shop near the bus depot. Heaven Sent Florals. That flower shop?
Yeah, that's right. The girl who runs the place, Kari.
No way. No, that can't be right. Her last name isn't Merriweather, by any chance?
Yeah. Kari Merriweather.
Your wife couldn't possibly have the same name. That would be way too weird.
One and the same.
She's my wife-to-be.
No. Dennis? She's my wife.
Oh, I got it. The flower shop. There's probably two people working there with the same name. That's it. How else can you explain it?
No way. That's inconceivable.
I don't really like where this is all going.
Yeah. But I'm afraid it's fact. There's no denying it.
Hey, Brad. Do you mind if I get in touch with her first? Could you do that for me? Just act normal like nothing's happened. You're living together now, right?
Yeah. All right, man. No problem, but are you gonna be okay? Hey, after you finish work, let's meet up and talk about this. what do you say? I want to make sure of all this. Maybe, like, compare notes?
Yeah, maybe that would be best. Let's do that. Anyway, I better be getting back to work. I'll drop you a line after I get off. Hey, Karin. Must have been a busy day today. Right before the weekend and all.
Oh, hey, Dennis. Yes, it's definitely picking up. Are you off today?
No, it's a weekday. Working my butt off as usual.
Yeah, right. Such a hard worker.
Where you at now?
Huh? I'm just here at home. Why'd you ask?
Just wanted to hear your voice, Karin.
Oh, you don't say. That's so nice of you.
We're getting married. I mean, not officially until next month, but we are, right?
Yeah, right. I'm so grateful for your understanding that I didn't want to change my last name. Thanks for that. I know I was being selfish and all.
No problem. I know how you feel about not changing your name. There was one thing that I wanted to ask you about. I was wondering if you had anybody else that you know, were going out with in the past? I'm sure you have. I mean, you're pretty and very nice and all. Why wouldn't you have dated some other guys?
Dennis? Are you jealous? That's so adorable. Yes, of course. Before I started going out with you, there were a few guys I went out with for sure. But when it came to tying the knot with somebody, well, you're the first, Dennis.
Yeah, really? That's great. First time was me, huh?
Yes. So, no more of this jealousy.
Aye, aye, sir. Karin. Is there anything else you're hiding from me? Something you're not telling me?
Hiding something? Why would you say that?
I happened to see you the other day.
Huh? You saw me? Where?
This was some time back. Guess it was like 2 weeks ago. Did you pass by my office? I was taking a break and looking out the window. And I happened to see you with some guy.
Sorry, Dennis. I was going to tell you. To be honest, I have an older brother.
An older brother? You have an older brother?
Sorry to keep it from you. I was going to tell you about him later on. Like you said, 2 weeks ago I went out to lunch with my brother that day. You probably saw us as we were headed to Gary's down the street. You know, that diner down the street from your office? I figured if I told you, you would get jealous, like you did a second ago. I couldn't bring myself to tell you yet. Figured you wouldn't mind. He is my brother after all. Just siblings having dinner. No need for jealousy, please. I can't handle any kind of jealousy or mistrust. You know me, right?
Oh, I see. Your brother. Right. Do you mind telling me your brother's name? Just curious.
His name? Well...
Don't tell me you don't remember your brother's name.
Of course I remember. It's Bradley. Yeah, I always call him Brad.
Yeah, that's it. I just got a call from this guy Brad just a few hours ago. He contacted me to tell me he was getting married. Great, huh? I suppose you know where I'm going with this, right? Brad told me that his wife's name was Karin Merriweather. He also said that she works at the flower shop called Heaven Sent Florals. What a coincidence, huh? Same name, same place of work. Really freaky.
Yeah, weird. I have no idea what's going on. Oh, yeah, you know what? I should have told you before, but there is this girl working with me, and she has the exact same name.
Please, enough already. I don't want to hear anymore. About seeing you in front of my office walking with some guy? Yeah, I made that up. But it's true that you passed my office with Brad, right? You know why I know? Well, because Brad told me. Before you say anything, no use trying to explain. Brad and I have known each other since grade school. or what you call best of friends.
Huh?
So, what's this all about? Why the elaborate lie? Why the song and dance?
Boy, this is getting super boring.
Huh? What did you say?
Everything was going great. You had to ruin everything. You work at a well-known company, so socially I was in good standing. Although your pay is crap, and a freelancer with way better income, best of both worlds. I can't believe you guys are best friends. Just my luck. I really should have done a little research. 1 in a million chance that you guys would know each other. You can't make this stuff up. And I thought everything fell into place nicely.
Sorry to interrupt your self-contemplation, but don't you think you should be, apologizing?
No, boy. And I thought I had a nice little scheme going here. What a mess.
Okay, I get it. Now I see who the real Kari Merriweather is. Let me get this straight. Brad and I were just being used. A convenient pawn in your desire for an easy life. That about it? Hold on a second. That's the most despicable thing I've ever heard.
What can I say? I'm cute. All the guys fall for me. Get to make the best of it, right? Being cute sure has its merits. I can do practically anything I want, and nobody says shit. I can't get over how easily guys like you fall for it.
Didn't you even think about what would happen? We would have found out sooner or later. Or do you even give a shit?
Like I said, you guys are too easy. Show a little leg and a wink, and I got you kissing my feet. I don't know about you, but Brad, whoa. I got him eating out of my hands. He's infatuated with me. I look up at him with my sparkly eyes, twirl my finger on his chest, and he forgets everything. I could total his car and he'd forgive me. I don't need you anymore, so do as you like. Goodbye.
You do realize that this conversation is going to be evidenced later on. You okay with that?
In this day and age, you can make up any kind of conversation you want. This kind of lying conversation means nothing. Can't be used as evidence. Tough luck.
You never thought of the risk that Brad and I would accidentally meet, even if we didn't know each other.
You guys probably would have never run into each other. Like I said, a 1 in a million chance. Hold it a second. Did you say earlier that he called you? And you said friends from grade school.
Boy, not sure how you keep that brain of yours working. Take a look out your window.
Window? What are you talking about?
Yeah, I mean your parents' place. At the entrance area.
Wait a sec. Is that Brad's car? Wait, just a second. Why are you guys together?
Yeah, we thought we'd take a drive out here. Wow, didn't expect your place to be so big. Really nice. I believed you when you said you didn't have parents, that they abandoned you a long time ago. So, this is where you live with Brad. So you got 2 homes. One when you meet me, and this one where you live with Brad. You really got it made. So, that fairy tale about your folks abandoning you, and that you had to work your butt off to make a living. That was all BS, huh? You know what? I don't have parents. So I was pretty content that I finally found someone that would understand how I felt all these years. I really believe that it was an unbelievable twist of fate that I met you. So, it pisses me off even more.
I think you got this all wrong. A simple misunderstanding is all.
After I finished work, I met up with Brad. We compared a line conversation with you. We were able to verify a bunch of details.
Huh? Are you serious?
Well, now that we're here, let's get your parents and the 5 of us can have a big, long talk. What do you say? I look forward to it. Karin's family, it turned out, was very rich. After we arrived, we were immediately greeted by her mother and father, who apparently knew nothing about her daughter's little scheme. They were genuinely shocked. Obviously, Karin played dumb, but Brad and I were, after all, buddies since grade school. I've known him for years, so no way she could talk her way out of this predicament. So she finally relented and admitted what she'd done. We sat down and discussed how we would go forward. We concluded the conversation with the promise that both Brad and I would receive a handsome financial compensation for what she did. All seemed fine, and both Brad and I were content with the overall outcome, but oh yeah, Brad could not stay married with Karin after what she pulled. We figured Karin's parents would foot the bill for her daughter's misfortune, but to our surprise, they refused to help her. So I heard she had to increase her hours at the flower shop in order to pay off her debts to her parents. Brad and I were curious about how she was doing, and we decided to ask her parents, but all they said was, "Better you don't know." We didn't press it any further. As for Brad and I, it's been a year since that unfortunate incident, and both of us met a couple of very nice girls. The first thing we did when we all went out was to make sure we weren't going out with the same girl.
Hey, do you really think you can get away from me? You're gonna pay for slinging mud in my face. How do you, a mere housewife, plan to bring up a high school kid like Sandy? Give me a break.
The divorce has already gone through for your information. I have nothing further to talk to you about. And I already found a good-paying job. So I plan to put Sandy through college no matter what. And I don't need your help.
You sure don't know anything about real life, do you? Do you even realize the huge pay difference between you and me?
Why did you even contact me? What exactly do you want to say? Spit it out. I don't have all day. To be honest, we just want you gone from our lives. So if you got something to say it for God's sake.
Your income is gonna drop drastically. You do realize that. I hope. I mean, you forget that you were married to a guy who works at a major corporation.
Yeah, a guy who works at a major corporation that had a mistress and played around constantly. What's more, you made us live on a pittance. I even had to work part-time to make ends meet. Yeah, right, a real provider. You never allowed us to enjoy ourselves. To be honest, it was pure misery living with you. When we came home, all you did was treat us like slaves. If the dinner I cooked was not to your liking, you would just dump it in the trash bin. Or you would toss Sandy's homework in the trash out of spite. At the office, you act as though you're a loving father, taking care of your family, putting on this whole fake persona. If people knew the real you, someone who treats his family like garbage, they would be rendered speechless.
But you are garbage. What can I say? A garbage woman and her garbage daughter. That's what you guys are. How else am I supposed to treat you? Yeah, like garbage. Why did you even have to give birth to a girl, for God's sake? At least you could have given me a boy. What's the use in having a girl? What use will she be when she grows up? All these years, I took care of you guys. Gave you a roof over your heads, paid for your meals, clothes, everything. This is what I get in return? Funny. I didn't even have to throw out the trash. The trash left on its own accord. If I knew it would turn out this way, I never should have picked you up off the street. All you had to do was obey my every command and simply do what I told you, but no! You always had some reason to fight back.
How could I not fight back? You cheat on me. You provide us with zero financial support. Who wouldn't react to that? You really have nerve treating women like we were your slaves. You're despicable.
Yeah, well, just keep this in mind. A woman is only useful until she's in her mid-20s. That's it! After that, she's just an old hag. You're way over the limit. There's no use for you in this world anymore. Get that through your pea-brain head of yours. That's why I treat younger women with respect. You, on the other hand, deserve no respect whatsoever. Your expiration date reached its limit a long time ago. You belong in the trash bin.
Is that all you've got to say? Well, have fun with your mistress then. Good riddance.
You bet I will. Unlike you, she's super smart. She never gets angry or complains about a thing. I will be very happy living with her. I should have done this years ago. Why I kept you after the expiration date, I don't know. But this does not mean I forgive you for leaving me. Don't you forget that. I'm not finished with you yet. If you want me to pay child support for Sandy, you better get down on your hands and knees and beg like the tramp you are. And you do that in front of my house. And then I may provide you with a little financial support. And I'm sure you need it.
No need for that, we're good to go. We don't want a cent from you. I don't want to ever rely on you or your money. So please, get lost. We don't ever want anything to do with you again. Just leave us be. Goodbye and good riddance. Hey, Sandy, just finished work. I'm getting on the subway. Hey, Mom, just in time. I just walked through the door. I'll get dinner ready right away. Bought some of your favorite pork dumplings on the way. Oh my God, I love those things. Thanks. I'm really sorry. I know you probably just finished school. Making me dinner? You should be studying. Come on, Mom, don't start again. I'm doing it because I love it, that's all. Don't worry about it. Anyways, you're always working for me. Ever since we left home. I have to pay you back for all you've done for me. So please, let me do at least a little cooking and cleaning, and like I said, I actually kind of enjoy cooking. Yeah, right, but you're already in college. I mean, you must. What? What do you mean? You know, you must have a boyfriend. Huh? Is that what you're worried about? Don't worry, nobody like that so far. I know a lot of guys at school, but no one special. Besides, if I do find a guy, I will only choose a guy that will accept you. That's how important you are to me, Mom. I'm always here for you, Mom. That will never change, so you better get used to it. Sandy, you're going to make me cry. How did I end up with such a beautiful daughter? You know what? I'm gonna stop off at that pastry shop downtown and pick up some of those chocolate donuts. Really? Yes! Okay, Mom. Be careful coming home. And could you get me some of those brownies? I love those. Sure thing, Sandy. Anything for my daughter. No, wait. Forget what I just said. Huh? What's the matter? Did I say something wrong? What am I gonna do? Why? This is not happening. Mom, no, you can't. You can't come home. Just stay away. Don't come home, you hear me? He's in front of the house. Huh? What do you mean he's in front? Who's he? No way. You don't mean him? Yeah, it's him. My dad. My ex-dad. He's banging on the door. What am I going to do? The door's gonna break, Mom. He's gonna kick it down. What should I do? He's at the front door? You're sure it's him? Are you okay, Sandy? No way he's getting in the house, right? Don't you dare let him in, you got that? I got both locks secured, and the curtains are closed. He probably doesn't know I'm here. Maybe he'll give up and go away. I doubt he'll break in. He hasn't seen me. He'll give up, but... Mom, stay away from the house for now. When he's gone, I'll text you again. Hang tight. Just stay at a cafe or something for now. I'll be in touch. I can't do that. I can't have you stay there all alone with that lunatic outside. I just can't do it. When Bob gets angry, he goes nuts. He's deranged. He goes totally mental when he doesn't have his way. He'll get way more blitzo if you see him face to face. Better you stay away. I can handle this. You know I'm right, Mom. I mean, he would never hurt his own daughter. But you? He hates you. He'll go Looney Tunes if he sees you. He's banging on the door and screaming your name. Stay away, Mom, you hear me? That guy's wacky for sure. You got it, Mom? Sandy, just call the cops right away. Better to be on the safe side. Call the cops. If it's nothing, that's that. Please, just call them. Calling the police won't do shit. Remember when we called the police before you got divorced? Remember what they said after they arrived? They said it was just a family quarrel and told us to work it out. And just left us with this deranged psycho. You do remember that, right? No way I'm calling those useless jerks. I'll never forgive that cop for how he treated us. Yeah, well, that cop was old, probably retired by now. The younger cops are way more understanding, especially with young and pretty girls like yourself. I know, I was pissed off at that cop too, but I think things have changed since then. Won't hurt to call them just in case. I would rather you call them than regret it later on, so please. All right, Mom, I'll call them. Hold it a second, Mom. Looks like he's talking to someone outside. Who? What's up? Answer me! Who's he talking to? I think it's the neighbor. I've seen him around. I think it's that guy down the street. Mr. Bannon, was it? It looks like he's warning him. He looks a bit angry. Huh? Really? I hope Mr. Bannon is okay. You really should just call the cops. Bob is off his rocker, right? Never know what he'll do. Better safe than sorry. Call the police right away. No, wait. It looks fine. Dad looks like he's apologizing to Mr. Bannon. Actually, looks kinda worried. Huh? Really? I know Dad always dupes people at the office and around his neighborhood with his good guy image, but around us? Around our neighbors? He's always pretty rude to them. He's sure not the type to curry favor with our friends. Yeah, you're right. If he didn't care, he'd just ignore the guy and keep banging away and screaming. I wonder if he knows Mr. Bannon. Holy crap! He just got down on his hands and knees. Looks like he's begging him for forgiveness? What the hell is going on? Who is this Mr. Bannon? What is he? A cop or something? I want to get out there and check it out. Don't you dare! I know Bob. He'll hit the roof once he sees you. Just hang on for a bit longer. I'm almost home. I'll talk to them. I'll find out what's going on. So don't you dare go out there.
Hey! Never thought you were acquainted with the former CEO of our company. Small world, huh? I mean, who would have thought?
What the hell is wrong with you? You come charging over to my house, bang on the door, scared Sandy half to death. What the hell do you want?
I was just thinking. We're forever connected somehow. Don't you think? You know Mr. Bannon? Can't just chalk it up to mere coincidence.
Well, if you would have just forgotten about us and just left us be, we never would have had any further connection. Besides, there is no connection now or ever in the future.
Come on, relax, Carol. I just wanted to show you a little respect. Figure we can talk it over and make things right again. You know, start from scratch again. What do you say?
Did you fall off your chair and hit your head recently? Do you really expect us to live with you again after how you treated us? Do you really want garbage like us back in your life? You are totally mental. If I was a cat and had 9 lives, I would reject you 9 times.
Come on, don't be that way. Let's let bygones be bygones. Let's start on a blank page. Like when we first met. I was young and hot-headed. I'm not the old Bob anymore. My thinking has changed. You should call me Robert from now on. That old Bob is gone for good. What do you say? I really regret how I treated you. I understand that now.
How many years do you think I spent watching you put on that fake persona? You can't fool me anymore. I've had it with your deception. The only reason you're being this way is probably because you found out that Mr. Bannon was the former CEO of your company. and that he's my neighbor. That's it, isn't it? I can read you like a book, Bob. For your information, we have no intention of starting over with you again. Not now, not ever. Sandy and I would be forever grateful for you if you would just leave us be and get the hell out of our lives. Thank you very much.
Okay, I got it. I won't bother you any longer. But could you just do me one favor? Could you tell Mr. Bannon that you forgave? That there are no hard feelings? You do that, and I will be gone from your lives. You know him pretty well. He seems to be fond of you. I'm sure he'll listen to you. I tried to contact him, but he's blocked me. He won't see me. You're my only chance. Come on! For old time's sake.
He comes to my home, bang on my door, scare my daughter, disrupt this peaceful neighborhood. You brought this onto yourself. Mr. Bannon came rushing over here because he heard you yelling and screaming. Anyway, you and I are complete strangers. We're not married anymore. That ended years ago. You should be grateful I didn't call the police. They could have had you arrested. Did you even realize that?
Yeah, I know that. But the fact remains that, well, if you don't help me out, I may get fired from my job. I made my way up the company. I recently made section manager. You understand, right? I can't lose this job. You gotta help me out.
Why are you even asking me? I have nothing to do with all this. Don't come groveling for help. It's actually a little offensive. You brought this all on yourself. What's more, when we got divorced years ago, you told the company that it was me who cheated on you. How could you? All those years, you treated us with such disdain.
Well, I couldn't help that. I had to maintain a proper image at work.
Wait a sec. I know why you came back to us. I bet your woman, the one you had the affair with, I bet she dropped you, am I right? I thought she was smarter than me. Well, it seems she wasn't. If she was as smart as you say, she would have dropped you before getting married. You haven't changed one bit. That mouth of yours is still working overtime, I see.
I just came back to help you guys out. I felt pity for you.
Oh yeah? Well, that's so nice of you. But we don't want or need your help. I mean, how could we accept anything from a loser like you? So, no way I'm going to explain anything to Mr. Bannon. Get yourself out of your own pile of garbage. Oh yeah? Just so you know, I told Mr. Bannon the real reason we got divorced. No matter how you tried to concoct some far-fetched story, it's too late. He knows the truth.
Come on, Carol. Have a little pity, would ya? We've been together for more than 15 years. There must have been something there. You must have cared back then. Come on, help me out here. Tell Mr. Bannon it was all a misunderstanding.
I will never forget what you did to us. Treating us with such animosity. And you want pity? Well, I'm not giving it. I didn't realize Mr. Bannon was the former CEO of your company, but I knew that after he retired, he worked as a volunteer to help out single mothers. And this house we're living in, he owns it, and he lets us live here for a fraction of the real cost. Mr. Bannon is a kind and considerate person. He's done so much for me and Sandy. I cannot lie to him, and I won't.
Give me a break! My whole career is on the line here. I get fired and I'm done. How am I supposed to find a job now, at this age?
Why should I worry about some stranger's life or career? Besides, our lives are in jeopardy too. Our lives, Sandy and mine. This is way more important than some no-good cheating ex-husband, and nobody to us. If I give in now, we would only go back to being your slave and treated like trash.
Slave, huh? I wouldn't go that far. I never treated you guys like slaves. Besides, a woman should obey his husband. It's always been like that.
Are you still going on about a wife obeying the husband? Are you still living in the 1950s? Do you ever say that in front of people at work or to Mr. Bannon's face? I bet you don't. Yeah, I figured as much. All you care about is how people perceive you at work, how the girl sees you. You're always putting on this fake persona. You're despicable.
What good would it do to tell him about what a crappy wife and useless daughter I have? What good would it do me? The only reason you exist is because of guys like me. Guys who can provide for you and protect you. You need guys like me. Wake up and smell the coffee, would you? Just do whatever I say. You'll thank me in the end.
Wow, I thought you lived in the 50s. Dark Ages is more like it. Where have you been for the past few decades? We're strangers now. I don't want you ever contacting us again, you got that? For the last time, goodbye.
Hold on a second. I'm begging for your help. You can't even have an ounce of pity for me? Come on, think of the 15 years we were together. We had some good days, right? You're not that stupid, are you? So, you're okay with me being gone? You sure are gonna regret this. Mark my words! You'll never be able to do anything without me!
Huh? You still think you're above it all. You're hopeless. Sandy and I don't need you. You've treated us like garbage for years. But I've realized that the worst piece of garbage in the world is you. That's why we dumped you. Can you ever understand that, for God's sake? That's right, Bob. You're the piece of trash. You belong in the trash bin of humanity. Well, after that line encounter, I heard he was transferred to some office way out in the country somewhere. Mr. Bannon, being the former CEO, could have insisted that he be fired, but he was afraid that if he did fire him, he could take revenge on me and Sandy. He wanted to avoid that at all costs. So he opted to get him transferred to some far-off subsidiary. As for Bob, he got bumped down to a regular staff member. We all know Bob's got a huge ego, so I'm not sure how he would take it. Not sure if his pride could take such shame. But then again, that status of working for a major corporation, he definitely didn't want to part with that. I bet he put on that fake smile of his, grit his teeth, and took it. I heard that Mr. Bannon was also brought up by a single mom, and so after retirement he volunteered to help single mothers in need. I was fortunate enough to live in his neighborhood, and he and his group helped us out, providing us with discounted housing and medical help when needed. I would never have gotten by without Mr. Bannon's help. If Mr. Bannon hadn't shown up when he did, you never know what that creep would have done to us. We owe him dearly for coming to our rescue. Of course, we wanted to call the police and press charges, but it seems that they only act after some drastic incident happens and not before. Besides, even if the police took him away, he would not be gone for long. He'd probably be out in a few hours. Then what? He'd definitely come right back to taunt us. So, we figured this would be the best punishment for him. As for the woman he was having an affair with, well, apparently she dumped him and found a way nicer guy than Bob. I heard she recently got married. Well, looks like she threw out the trash too. I guess he came back to us because he had nowhere else to go. Nobody would put up with his bullshit. I was furious he would even think we'd take him back. But I feel this is truly the end of this relationship. As long as the company doesn't fire him and keeps him away from us, he'll face up to what he did as long as he can keep his job. Any contact with us and he loses his job. That'll keep him in line. So now Sandy and I can finally relax and get on with our lives. He was a garbage husband, but one thing I will thank him for is that he gave me a beautiful daughter. She is the most precious thing in my life.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel.
Angela, it's time. You need to get your luggage ready. You'll be going to stay with your Aunt Petunia starting from tomorrow.
I'm going to stay with Aunt Petunia? Just me? On my own?
That's right. You'll be living with her at her house from tomorrow.
Huh? But why? Am I allowed to say no? I'm not sure I want to do that.
No? Of course you're not, silly little girl. You won't be living with me in this house anymore. I need my own personal space.
But my wound isn't even fully healed yet. I can't see properly in my left eye, and I'm still not great on my feet. My sense of distance is all messed up, and my balance is all over the place, which makes walking difficult.
That's fine. Your aunt's house is within acceptable distance from the hospital. You'll be able to carry on going to your appointments as normal. How else are you supposed to get your walking back to normal without practice? Besides, where's your fighting spirit? Back in my day, we kept a stiff upper lip when times were tough.
But why? Why do I have to move out to live with Aunt Petunia? I don't understand. Did I do something wrong?
I can't take living with you anymore. I heard the doctor. He said you'd have that scar forever. It's so ugly and disgusting to look at. I'd frankly rather you not be here.
Wow. You're kicking me out because you don't want to look at my face? You're the one who injured me in the first place, Mom!
You're blaming me for what happened? Seriously? Good grief.
Well, you are the only one who pushed me.
I hardly did it on purpose. You're the one who was desperately trying to cling to me for God knows what reason, and all I did was push you away. That's when you stumbled and fell. There just so happened to be a pot of boiling water where you landed. You got injured as a result of your own irresponsible foolishness, and you need to accept the consequences of your actions, young lady.
Mom, you'd been drinking again, and you were going crazy, shouting, screaming, and throwing things just like you always do. I only got involved because I was scared, and I thought you might hurt yourself.
I was certainly not drunk, and I was certainly not going crazy, shouting, screaming, or throwing things. This is one of the most ridiculous loads of baloney I've ever heard. Do not try to paint your mother as some violent alcoholic barbarian. How rude!
Mom, you start throwing stuff and trashing the place every time you drink. Why can't you just accept it? I'm not judging you, I want to help you. But it's like I'm banging my head against a brick wall. It was just last month you threw that flower vase and broke our huge flat-screen TV. Or did you forget that already?
Who do you think you are? How dare you speak to your own mother like that? You impertinent little cretin. Why I oughta... Keep talking. If I wasn't sure I made the right decision by having you move in with your Aunt Petunia, I certainly am now. You're ugly. You can't even see properly. Let's face it, there's no value in keeping you around here whatsoever.
Wow. So go on. Tell me, what exactly do you mean by me having no value?
You bring nothing to the table. I no longer have the time or energy or patience to carry on looking after you. It's nothing but work, work, work. Having you in this house is nothing but trouble for me, and I'm finally washing my hands of you. Starting tomorrow, you'll be Aunt Petunia's problem.
I see. If that's how you feel, maybe it's in my best interest to be as far away from you as possible. I guess there's no reason for me to hold back anymore, so I'll just come out with it. I think you and Dad are the worst parents ever.
Excuse me?
You're both vile, disgusting dirtbags. Oh yeah, and obviously you're a raging alcoholic. Not to mention Dad's gambling addiction. I really couldn't have had a worse set of parents. Now that I think about it, I probably am better off with Aunt Petunia.
Vile and disgusting? Remind me who you're talking about again. Because the only thing that's vile and disgusting here is your ugly face, you insolent little witch. I wish you were never born, you pathetic waste of space. Having you was the biggest mistake of my life. There isn't a day that goes by where I don't regret it.
I can't wait to live with Aunt Petunia. In fact, I'm so excited, I'm not waiting until tomorrow. I'll be gone tonight. I can't bear to be in the same house as someone as evil as you for even a second longer.
Joyce, fantastic. Great. Music to my ears. In that case, hurry up and disappear from my life forever. Believe me, the sooner I see the back of you, the better. Never show your disgusting face around here again, you misshapen little goblin. Even if you come crawling back with tears streaming down your face in the middle of the night, you won't be coming inside.
Don't worry, I'm never coming back. I can't wait to get away from you and Dad. I can finally be happy.
With a face like that? No matter what you do or where you go, you'll never be happy for as long as you live. Forget marriage. With a face like that, you'd be lucky you even found a boyfriend. No, here's what you should do. Give up on the laughable idea that you could ever be happy. Fall into a hole and live out your days quietly, where you cause as little nuisance as possible to us respectable members of society. Hi, Angela. Oh, it's been a while. How have you been?
Huh? Is that Mom?
How old are you? 25, 26? I can't believe you're a fully grown adult now.
Mom, is that really you? This isn't someone playing a trick, is it?
It really is me, your mother. I'm so sorry for not keeping in touch these last 10 years.
Yeah, you should be. Why are you messaging me now after all this time? What do you want? What reason could you possibly have for talking to me right now? Make it quick.
Oh, don't be so cold. I just wanted to speak to my darling daughter, that's all. I've missed you so much. I was wondering if maybe we could meet sometime.
You've got some nerve. To talk about meeting me after kicking me out and not messaging me for 10 whole freaking years? I don't have a single thing to say to you. Not over text, not in real life. And we are so not meeting up.
You say that, but you didn't block me, did you, darling? Thank you, I do appreciate it, you know. If you're honest with yourself deep down, you were probably waiting for me to get back in touch. I can only apologize for taking so long.
Ew, no way. Seeing your name pop up was the last thing I wanted. Anyway, get to the point. Or was that it?
Angela, I owe you an apology. There's no forgiving how I treated you back then. I was horrible to you, and I abandoned you. I won't make any excuses. I'm sorry. How did you get on with the injury after we stopped speaking? Does it still hurt?
The sight in my left eye never came back. The wound healed, so visually I don't look that different to anyone else. But that's only because Aunt Petunia was kind enough to cover my medical bills. If not for her, I would never have been able to afford treatment. Not only that, but she also paid for me to go to college too. I owe her everything. I honestly don't know where I'd be if not for her love and support.
Oh, I'm so pleased to hear that, darling. A woman's beauty is everything. I'm so pleased you won't have to go through life with a nasty little scar. It didn't look good for you at all back then. I was quite worried, you know. I'm grateful for Aunt Petunia, too. I can't help but feel guilty over forcing her to look after my daughter out of the blue like that. You know, I'm actually thinking of apologizing properly to her, too.
You messaged me out of nowhere after 10 years with a surprise apology, and now you want to apologize to Aunt Petunia, too? What brought this on? Did you join a cult? I remember everything you said 10 years ago, and how you called me a disgusting little goblin. How you said I was worthless. All of it. Oh yeah, and let's forget you said you wished I was never born. Why are you doing this? Why now?
I can only apologize for the way I behaved back then, Angela. I truly am sorry from the bottom of my heart. Believe me, I thought so long and hard about what I did after you were gone. I've been doing some soul searching lately. It suddenly dawned on me I'm a failure of a mother.
I never knew you had it in you to apologize to another human being. I thought your selfishness knew no bounds. I was sure you were doomed to be that way for the rest of your life.
Don't say things like that. There's no doubt I was the worst of the worst back then. But I'm a changed woman. You believe people can change, don't you, darling? I turned over a new leaf. I stopped drinking too.
Wow, really? Even though you used to get through several bottles of wine a day?
Yes, to tell you the truth, quitting wasn't easy. There were so many times where I felt like I was giving in, like going back to it. The voice inside my head that said, one glass and all the pain goes away, felt so powerful. But every time I felt lost and hopeless and racked with doubt, I remembered your face and it gave me the strength to persevere and carry on.
What made you quit?
Me and your father divorced.
I see. I was amazed you tolerated each other for as long as you did. You were both so arrogant, self-centered. It was a miracle you even lasted long enough to have me.
Your father, he was unfaithful. With a girl much younger than me. Eventually, he ended up kicking me out of the house so he could move her in my place.
Wow. So he's still a complete scumbag, just like always.
When he did that, I realized the pain of being betrayed by someone you love. At the same time, I was overwhelmed by the heartbreaking sadness of being kicked out on the streets at a moment's notice. My world had been flipped upside down. I felt so pathetic. It was in that moment I finally realized how awful I treated you. I've been a terrible mother and a fool.
You mean you finally understand the pain you put me through?
That's right. I'm fully committed to starting over and becoming a better human being. I knew that if I was serious about walking the path of redemption, I had to at least apologize for everything I did. That's why I messaged you after all these years.
I see.
10 years is a long time. You must have been lonely. Were you?
Yes, of course. Aunt Petunia was the kindest person I could have ever hoped to have in my life. But she did have other kids to look after. No matter how long I stayed there, no matter how well I got along with everyone, I knew deep down I was an outsider, and that it wasn't my home. I saved up as much money as I could and moved out not long after I got there.
That's only natural, darling. Your home is with me, after all.
Make no mistake, though. I feel nothing but gratitude for Aunt Petunia for everything she did for me. She provided me with somewhere to live in safety and comfort. She gave me food, clothes, put a roof over my head, and most importantly, she was there to love and support me when I needed it the most. If not for her, I never would have had the motivation to study and make something of my life, and I never would have gotten into a first-rate college. As a result, I was fortunate enough to land a job at a good company. I always felt so self-conscious and insecure about the scar on my face, but I resolved to work as hard as I possibly could in spite of that. I wasn't going to let what happened back then hold me back.
Yes, I heard. Peeps Industries, right? I couldn't believe it. I was so overcome with pride when I found out my daughter managed to land a job at such a prestigious global company. You really are amazing, Angela.
Wait, how did you know where I work?
I heard from a relative.
Someone's loose-lipped.
You work at their HQ in New York, right? Oh, my daughter is in the big city. They also told me where the apartment you're living in is. You're not a small-town country bumpkin anymore. You really made it, honey. That's my Angela. You're so special and talented. My heart fills with pride and joy every time I think about you.
They told you where I live, too?
I had no idea any daughter of mine would ever grow up to be such a high achiever. You always were different to me and your father.
Right. I thought I was always more similar to Aunt Petunia. One thing's for sure, my childhood would have been a hell of a lot happier if she was my mom.
Yes, darling, maybe it would. Maybe it would. I want you to know how amazing you are, and I'm very proud of you.
Thanks. Was there anything else, or did you just get in touch to heap praise on me? If not, we're done here. I understand how you feel now, so there isn't really much more to say.
Darling, wait! Of course the main reason I reached out to was because I wanted to apologize. But there was one more thing I wanted to talk to you about. You'll hear me out, won't you?
Only if it's quick. What is it? I have a ton of stuff to do, and I'm up early in the morning.
Well, you know how I told you me and your dad divorced? Well, that means I'm all on my own now. How would you feel about us living together? You and your old mother, just the two of us.
Excuse me? Me and you live together?
I know it might sound crazy to you, given how long it's been, and thinking about how I behaved back then, it's probably the last thing you want. But I promise I'm not the same person anymore. I'll never do anything to hurt or upset you ever again.
Crazy doesn't even scratch the surface. But it's true. You must have lost your mind if you're actually asking me this.
Please, darling, won't you give your old mother one more chance? I've changed, I swear.
That may be so, but I'm a grown woman with a life of my own now. Why would I go out of my way to live with my estranged mother? You're more than capable of looking after yourself. Do you still work? Surely you must still be making money.
Let me right my wrongs. I swear this time I'll be a better mother you deserve. It's only right that we live together. We're mother and daughter family. Please, darling, won't you give me one chance to make up for all the horrible things I've done to you? Let me make up for all the lost family time I stole from us. Let me show you how I changed.
This is a lot to take in. There's no way I can give you an answer straight away. I need some time to think.
Right, yes, of course. It's a lot to process, I understand. Of course, darling, take as long as you need. But I hope your answer will be positive and forward-thinking, because I just know that that's the kind of person you are. Let's give things one more shot as mother and daughter. Hey, Angela, how are you? Have you reached a decision yet? You have been thinking positively about this, haven't you? About me and you living together. I hate to rush you, but I really am going to need an answer soon.
Yes, I've decided.
You have? Darling, the suspense is killing me. Go on, what is it?
You are sorry for what you did, aren't you?
Yes, dear, of course I am. When I think about how awfully I treated you, I'm filled with nothing but shame and regret. I put you through so much unnecessary pain and suffering. I'm so sorry for everything. I know I'll never be able to take back what I did, but I at least hope you'll give me the opportunity to make it up to you and showing you how sorry I really am for letting me live with you.
I think I understand your feelings now, Mom. You do seem genuinely sorry, which is why I've decided the answer is yes. We're going to live together.
Really?
You'll never say anything horrible to me again, will you? Like you did when I was a kid?
Never, ever, ever! I swear on my life. I know I was an abject failure of a mother back then, but I want you to know I'll do anything for you now.
Anything? Do you mean that? Would you really do anything for me?
Of course! Believe in me, and I'll show you you made the right decision. I know it's selfish of me, but I've never longed for nothing more than for one more shot at being your mother, to right the wrongs of the past. I know I never gave you the love or affection a little girl deserves or needs. I know how much I hurt you, and I'll never forgive myself for that. But from here on out, I want to atone for everything and show you how special you really are to me. I'm going to spoil you rotten like I should have done back then.
I never thought the day would come where we'd be having this conversation. And actually, I'm so pleased you came back. I'm unemployed right now, so I could really use the help. The timing couldn't have been better. Things were starting to look rough, but with you here to look after me, all my problems will be a thing of the past. I can't wait to take you up on that offer of spoiling me rotten.
Excuse me? You're unemployed?
Yep. Didn't I tell you? But I actually quit my job at Peeps Industries recently, so I'm unemployed right now. But that's okay because you're going to be there to look after me, right, Mom? I'm so relieved you came back.
Oh my God! Whatever possessed you to quit your job at the most prestigious companies in the world? What a waste! Why would you do such a thing? There are people who would kill to clean toilets at that company. And you quit? I've read the articles. They're famous for being one of the highest paying companies in America.
I decided to quit a while ago. When you came back and suggested we live together, I couldn't believe my luck. The timing couldn't have been better.
Why on earth didn't you tell me this before?
Huh? Mom, are you okay? Is something wrong? You seem a little perturbed. Why are you so angry?
The only reason I reached out to you was because I heard you worked at a major global company.
Huh? But didn't you say you were gonna spoil me rotten? Well, I'm ready to be spoiled. Let's move in together.
I will not be moving in with an unemployed leech. I thought you were on a huge salary when I suggested we should live together.
Oh, does that mean you've changed your mind?
Who in their right mind would move in with a good-for-nothing jobless scoundrel like you? You're broke and I have no use for you.
I see. What a shame. One thing's for sure, though. You haven't changed a bit. All this stuff about you having turned over a new leaf and being a different person was total bull, wasn't it? You almost fooled me.
That's my line. You deceitful little liar. You almost tricked me into moving in with a lazy shut-in hermit.
I guess that's the end of our long-awaited emotional reunion then. That didn't last long. Looks like we're gonna have to go our separate ways again, huh? Right back to square one.
I have nothing more to say to you.
Aw, I'm like so totally sad and broken up about that.
Angela, are you there? You tricked me! Why, you little...
What do you want? Didn't you say you had nothing more to say to me?
Don't play dumb with me, you stupid girl. I know the truth. You lied about being unemployed.
Strange. I don't remember lying about anything.
Don't play games with me. I heard you got a job with another major company. Apparently, these guys pay even better than Peep Industries. Your bank account must be overflowing.
Yeah, they're a great company. So I guess you could say that. I didn't lie about anything, though.
You said you were unemployed. What's that if not a barefaced lie? I bet you did it because you didn't want to live with me.
You just happened to message me straight after I resigned from the old company. Before I was officially hired by the new one, there was a period in between where I didn't have a job, which means I was technically unemployed.
Well, in that case, why didn't you damn well tell me? You were just trying to cause an argument for argument's sake, weren't you? You petty little cretin.
Did I really want to argue with you? I wonder.
You have no idea what you've done. When I heard you were unemployed,
Go on, Mom. What did you do?
I got into more debt. I contacted the loan shark because I thought I wouldn't be able to rely on you, and I didn't know what else to do. I never would have done it if I knew how much money you were making.
I already know all this. A relative told me. Apparently, you're struggling financially these days. Something about Dad demanding compensation and taking you to court? Something about crippling monthly payments that leave you with barely enough money left to eat?
Wait, you know? How long have you known all this?
I reached out to a few relatives after you messaged me out of nowhere, suggesting we move in together. I wanted to know what your ulterior motive was.
Ulterior motive? You mean you never believed me from the beginning?
You said all that stuff about how you finally understood the pain of being betrayed after Dad cheated on you and kicked you out of the house. But it was you who cheated all along, wasn't it? Both Dad and the wife of the guy you cheated on him with demanded you pay them huge amounts of compensation.
What's so funny? This is not a laughing matter. I don't even know if I can afford to eat tomorrow.
I guess that's why you tried cozying up to me again. So I'd take pity on you and take over your debt and compensation payments? You must be a real moron if you thought it was ever gonna work. You haven't changed at all. You're still the same selfish scumbag you were back then.
Scumbag? Is this how you speak to your mother?
It's the truth.
Whether you think it's the truth or not, that is no way to speak to your mother.
I haven't thought of you as my mother for over a decade. You're a stranger to me. I have no mother.
Whether you admit it or not, I am your mother and I always will be. Accordingly, you have a duty to look after me in my time of need. I know you've gotten the money. It's time to fulfill your familiar obligation.
Obligation? The only obligation I have is to myself, and that's to get as far away from you as possible. Besides, it's your fault you're in mountains of debt. It's got nothing to do with me. Stop trying to drag me into the mess you made. I could be the richest woman on the planet, and I still wouldn't have a single dollar for you.
I gave birth to you and raised you, you ungrateful little witch. It's time you paid me back and showed me the gratitude I deserve. I might have handed the baton over to Aunt Petunia after it all got too much for me, but I still gave birth to you and raised you for over 10 years.
My debt of gratitude got canceled out the moment you got blind drunk and pushed me headfirst into a pot of boiling water. All of my childhood memories consisting of you belittling or attacking me in some form. Forget gratitude. All I feel for you is hatred.
Come on, darling, surely it wouldn't hurt to toss a little something my way. I tell you what, if you just send me one envelope with enough of a little something inside to help me get out of, an awful pinch I'm in, I'll leave you alone forever. I swear I'll never speak to you again for as long as I live. So what'll it be, sweetie? Do you have a deal?
Tell me, Mom, do you know what hatred means?
Huh?
Let me tell you what I mean when I say hatred. It means I wish you nothing but absolute misery and unhappiness. If I don't give you money, you'll suffer all kinds of struggle and hardships, right? I want you to be as unhappy as humanly possible.
Oh my god, are you some kind of demon? What kind of evil daughter wishes unhappiness on her own mother? You're wicked.
Maybe so, but if I am, it must be in my genes. It would hardly be a surprise with you and Dad as my parents, would it? We're done here. This time, it's my turn to toss you aside like the piece of garbage that you are. Disappear from my life forever, you pathetic waste of space. With that, my ex-mother sunk into the depths of debt repayment hell. She'd burned all her bridges long ago, and there wasn't a soul in the world who was willing to help her in her time of need. What goes around comes around. As for my dad, being just as hopelessly addicted to gambling as he always was, apparently he wasted every last cent of the huge compensation payout he got from my mom at the casino within days of receiving it. He rushed to my mom's house in a desperate panic and attempted to force his way in to extract more money from her. Obviously, there was no way in hell she was ever going to go along with it. Tensions quickly reached boiling point. A squabble turned into a shouting match, and the shouting match turned into a fight. Before long, they were wrestling each other on the front lawn, and before the day was up, they were both lying in hospital beds. They're just as bad as each other. It'd actually be comical if it wasn't so tragic. Cruel and barbaric, arrogant and selfish. Wouldn't you just want to weep for humanity if we were all like that? I vowed to do everything in my power to ensure I end up absolutely nothing like them. And you should too.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel.
Hey sis, are you there? I heard something was going on with you, but I'm glad that everything seems to have settled down now. I always knew that you were so nice, but I can't believe that you put yourself through all of that just for me. You really are too kind. Do you know that? Tracy, I really wasn't doing what I did for your sake, you know. I broke off my engagement with my fiancé because I caught you two having an affair with each other. Well, I know, but you were engaged to a CEO. You know that it's always been my dream to marry a rich man, right? I don't even know what to say to something like that. Is that supposed to be an excuse? Well, I've just always wanted to live like a spoiled princess, you know? I really don't know. What in the world does that even mean in this day and age? Besides, where did a dream like this even come from? It isn't like we were horribly poor or fantastically rich growing up. Well, I know, but that doesn't mean that I can't want to marry someone who is really rich, because if I did that, then I would never have to work another day in my life. And now I found that man after all this time. It really is like a real-life Cinderella story, isn't it? I don't remember the scene in Cinderella where one of the ugly sisters steals her prince away. Are you sure we were watching the same movie growing up? Oh, come on. You can't actually be mad at me for taking him for myself, right? Don't you know that all's fair in love and war? You've just got to get over this. You think this is something someone can just get over? This isn't a toy or something that you stole from me this time. We aren't kids anymore. You're right. We're adults, and I think that you're forgetting your place right now. I stole your fiancé from you, and that's a fact. You just need to accept the fact that you've been dumped for the better woman. You think I've been dumped? Please. I wouldn't have taken Jerome back if he came begging for me to take him back. I wonder if you have any idea just how pathetic and desperate you sound. I really don't care what you have to say about this anymore. I am through with the both of you. You really don't get it. You aren't the one calling the shots here. Jerome left you for me. Do you understand that? And it's because you weren't enough for him. He chose me over you because it's clear that I'm the better choice. And that's why we had an affair behind your back, because you couldn't make your fiancé happy and now he's left you. I really don't care how you try and frame it. It is true that Jerome cheated on me and that's why we're not getting married. But do you see me crying and moaning over losing him? Whatever, I just know that you've gotten better at hiding it now. But you've always been a little crybaby ever since we were little. Now who's the one trying to act all tough? We both know that you were the one who would resort to tears right away. You're just trying to project your feelings onto me, but it's not going to work. You think that I'm crying over getting your fiancé? As if. I think it's hilarious. I couldn't be happier about this. You have no idea how long it's been my dream to marry someone like a CEO and never have to work again. It's like my whole life has been leading to this moment. You really have no idea what you're talking about, do you? But whatever, what's done is done. Oh, come on! You can't just be taking it that easy. Can't you send me a message in all caps or shout at me over the phone or something at least? I'm not going to do that, but you should know that Jerome is not a CEO. What in the world are you talking about? Of course he's a CEO. He's the boss of the company that you work for, isn't that right? Actually, we have joint management of the company, if you must know. Hold on a second. What is that supposed to mean? How can you both manage the company? Well, I actually started the company with my startup capital. Jerome just snuck his way up the ranks using connections of his. The company is, however, all mine. This doesn't make any sense to me at all. What in the world are you talking about? I mean that when we first met while working for different companies, I had just established mine, and as it grew, Jerome showed interest in helping out. Then we started to talk about getting married. After I got pregnant, the board insisted that I have a co-manager in case anything happened to me, and they selected Jerome. So then, you two had the same job at the same time, but the company was really yours? But then, I don't get it. Are you telling me that you're also the CEO of a company? I would say I'm more CEO than Jerome. After all, it was my money that began the company. And I'd double check about Jerome still being a CEO since he would have been fired by now. Fired? What do you mean by that? I mean that once the board found out that Jerome was cheating on me, they asked him to step down and began a full investigation into him. It turns out that he was using company money to take you out for meals and on dates. So the board had more than enough evidence to fire Jerome right then and there. In fact, I believe all of this happened last week. Last week? Are you sure? He hasn't told me anything about any of this. Well, you might want to go and try talking to him about some of this in that case. But then, doesn't this mean that Jerome isn't even a CEO and that I won't actually be marrying a really rich guy? That's what you're worried about? I tell you that Jerome was embezzling from the company, something he could go to jail for, and that's all you care about? You're just lucky the board already agreed not to press charges as long as Jerome pays the money back. Of course, we are prepared to press charges if that doesn't happen. But I was supposed to live life like a princess. I thought I had stolen your man away from you with my charm and good looks. But now you're telling me that the man I stole from you doesn't even have a job? Yeah, and I don't imagine he has much in the way of savings given how lavishly Jerome likes to live. But why didn't you say anything about this to me sooner? You should have warned me about him. Ugh, I never want to talk to you again. Are you really saying that to me? Oh, that message isn't showing up as read. Well, okay then. Have a nice life, sis.
Hey Mabel, are you there? What the heck is the matter with you, huh? Why the heck did you have to go and tell your sister that I wasn't the CEO of our company anymore, huh?
First of all, it isn't our company. It's always been my company. Second of all, don't be upset just because I told my sister the truth. Not only about your job, but also all about how you were fired. After all, it's not like I ever promised that I wouldn't tell her.
You little... Don't you realize what you've done? Now she doesn't want to marry me anymore. You've messed up my whole life with this.
Oh, so you mean you've managed to fumble marrying 2 women now? You've really got to work on that, Jerome.
You would like to think so, wouldn't you? But it shows what you know.
And just what is that even supposed to mean, huh?
I mean that I wanted to see how you would react. The truth is that I talked to your sister and smoothed things out. So we're still going to be getting married.
And just what kind of lies did you have to tell her to get her to go along with that?
I told her that the reason I chose to step down from my position as CEO of our company is so that I can do and start my own company. And I've already been preparing for this for a long, long time. After all, I was the one who took our company to where it is today. I know all about how to raise a successful company from the ground up now.
You're really going to start a company all by yourself?
What? Like it's hard? I'm going to start a company and it's going to grow far beyond what you could ever imagine. I'll dominate the industry and become untouchable.
Well, you might know how to found a company, but that doesn't mean that you're any good as a manager. And I don't think you've ever shown any promise there anyways.
Are you kidding me? You're just jealous because I left you and our company to go start my own with my new woman.
You can't actually think that I'm jealous of either you or my sister, right? You realize how stupid you sound, don't you?
Whatever. You're the one who doesn't know what you're talking about. Tracy and I are going to live happily ever after while your company just crumbles without me. Just stay out of my way and never try to interfere with my life again.
I really don't care what you and my sister choose to do with your lives, but you do realize that you need capital to start a business, right? Do you have that kind of money? Because I know that you still owe me for the legal fees from your affair.
You think a genius like me needs to waste my brain power on small details like that? I have big plans, and when I tell them to the bank, they're going to have to give me my loan. And I'll get the loan and start my company and have everything up and running in 6 months.
6 months, huh? You really think you can handle doing all that in such little time? Well, in that case, I want you to pay me what you owe me right now.
This is why you always used to get on my nerves. The second you saw that I was going anywhere in life, you would always find a way to try and hold me back. Why can't you just be more like your sister and let me do whatever I want without making little comments on it?
If you've got a problem with constructive criticism now, just wait until you're in a boardroom meeting. Besides, you knew that I was like this when we first started dating. Did you really expect me to change?
You know, I never even wanted to be engaged to you, but I knew that it was the only way to hold on to my position and my power. But then I met your sister, and I realized I didn't have to sell my soul to live like this. What your sister and I have is true love, and it's going to give us the success we need.
Well, I really do hate to stomp on your dreams, but let's just hope that it's true love that you two have.
Of course it is! We've tied together and nothing is ever going to come between us.
Well, good luck with that. I just hope that you two can stay together long enough to be married.
You'll see. We'll prove you wrong. We'll prove everyone wrong. And then you'll realize that you should have never underestimated me. Just now that I'm never going to work with your company again. So when I'm dominating the industry, you'll have to struggle just to keep the lights on.
Well, you have to go found your own company and get it off the ground first, so good luck with that. And do hurry up and send me the money that you owe me, okay?
Oh, you'll just have to wait for that. But don't worry. Once I have all my success, I'll be sure to pay you back that money with interest. And then you'll realize that that's only a taste of the wealth I'll have. Then you'll see how wrong you were about me.
Hey there, Mabel. I just thought you should know Jerome and I moved in together. At first, I was worried about all the things you were telling me about him, like how he wasn't a real CEO or how he embezzled from the company. But then he finally started his own company, and now we've moved into an amazing condo, and we're the happiest that we've ever been. It's amazing. You moved into a condo together with Jerome? Because I haven't even heard anything about him creating a new company. Well, I suppose that's probably because Jerome just runs in different circles from you, doesn't he? This is where we're going to move into. He told me that he already paid for the condo and that they're just getting it ready for us. Oh, wait a second. I think I recognize that view. Isn't that Mammoth Towers? You mean even you've heard of this amazing luxury condo building? Yeah, I have, actually. Do you know what room you're going to be living in? And just why would I share that with you? Don't tell me that you're going to try to break in and try to steal Jerome away from me. Because you should know that the building has guards in it and someone like you won't be allowed in. Right. Well, in that case, I guess you shouldn't worry about telling me the room number. Whatever. If you must know, the room number is 2305. So you're on the 23rd floor then? That's right, we're almost at the very top of the building. I've never gotten to stay in a place so nice. We're finally going to have our happily ever after. Well, it's just kind of funny because that's my unit. Wait, what? What in the world are you talking about? Do you really think I'm going to buy a lie like that? You have to come up with something better. I'm not kidding you at all. I own unit number 2305 in Mammoth Towers. Oh, just stop it already. Jerome sent me that photo from his phone. He was inside the unit and everything. There's no way that you own the building that we're about to move into. That doesn't make any sense at all. Well, yes, I'll say the interior does look like it's changed a lot. Although you should know that I got that unit because we bought it from Jerome's parents. But the building was under his dad's name for a while. Well, now you're not making any sense at all. How can it be your unit if it's under Jerome's dad's name? Okay, I guess I'll have to explain the whole thing then. So, that building was finished about a year ago. Around then, Jerome's dad thought to invest in the building company, thinking he would see some big returns. He bought a unit hoping to make a quick buck flipping it, but he wasn't able to pay for the whole thing. So then he came to me and asked me to buy it. So then, you're telling me that you bought this unit from Jerome's dad who couldn't afford to get one himself? Pretty much, yeah. But now that I look at this photo, I can see that this is from when Jerome's dad still took care of the place. And that's why it's so different from how I have the unit looking now. But this can't be right. I mean, Jerome said that he and I would be moving in there. I already have my bags packed and everything. Well, I don't know what to tell you, except that it's not Jerome's place to choose what to do with it. How could you do this to us? What's the matter with you? I didn't do anything. In fact, you were the one who said that you never wanted to talk to me again. So how is this all coming back on to me? Because we're supposed to go and live in that big condo building. We were supposed to have our happily ever after there. Why do you always have to ruin things for me, Mabel? You're the worst sister ever. Look, I know this is probably a lot for you to take right now, but you can't blame this on me. But it's not just now. You've always stolen everything I wanted from me, even when we were little. I didn't steal anything from you. In fact, you would always take from me. Whenever I tried to get it back, you would instantly start crying to get Mom and Dad on your side. But it's not fair. I want to live in that big condo. It should be all mine. Well, it was never yours nor Jerome's to begin with. A while ago, Jerome's dad needed money right away and offered to sell me the condo for the price he had put into it. I bought it and have been living there for a while. That's how I know that the interior looks different now. I don't know why Jerome thinks you two are moving in, but it's just not going to happen. If anything, I think that this is just one small part of a much larger lie that he's telling you. But this really isn't my problem anymore. Please don't bother me with stuff like this ever again. It turns out that when it was time to move, Jerome ended up taking my sister to go and move in with his parents. Apparently, they were in serious debt, and this was part of the plan to use Jerome and Tracy to pay off their debts. Tracy was messaging me, begging to help get her out of there, but I just read her texts and then blocked her number. She tried living with them for a couple of months, just hoping that this was all part of Jerome's plan to start his own company. Of course, he had never really even begun the process and was lying to Tracy this whole time about his intentions. I heard later from my parents that they ended up bailing out Tracy and rescuing her from her in-laws' house. Now, both my mom and dad are keeping a very close eye on Tracy and making sure she finds a job and learns some responsibility. As for me, life went on as normal. Nothing Jerome or Tracy did really ever had a chance to affect me. I told my parents that I wouldn't be doing anything to support my sister, and they understood and agreed with me. What the heck do you think you're doing at my wedding right now, Francine? A lame little shut-in loser like you has got some serious nerve trying to show her face around here on my special day. Excuse me? What in the world are you talking about right now, Emma? I seriously just can't even believe you right now. I mean, you weren't even invited, and yet you decided to just crash my wedding? What made you think doing something like this was okay? Did you hit your head or something like that? Seriously, what is your deal? Wait, no, hold on a second. I really am confused as to what you're talking about. I mean, the only reason I came here was precisely because I was invited. In fact, I had no idea you were going to be the bride at all. Oh, please, do you expect me to believe that? Of course you knew it was my wedding. The real question is how you knew it was happening here when you weren't even invited. But honestly, if you thought that you were going to get out of this with a lie like that, you've got another thing coming. But I'm telling you that I really was invited here. I got my invitation in the mail and everything. It's just that my invitation was sent by the groom of the wedding, who must be Xavier, the man you're going to marry. Wait a second, you're telling me that my fiancé Xavier invited some weird little nobody like you to our wedding? Why in the world would he want some loser like you here with us? I mean, doesn't he realize that we're so far above you? Xavier had great grades in class, makes a ton of money now, and he might as well be a supermodel. Now, you explain to me what he was thinking inviting a nobody like you here. But I don't really know what else to say. I really did get an invitation to be here. You need to stop all this lying at once. You just found out that this was happening and wanted to sneak your way in, didn't you? You must have known that at my wedding it was only going to be beautiful and successful people allowed in. Which means that you must be here just to try and flirt with men. Wait, what? You can't really think that, right? Of course that's not what's going on. You've got this all wrong. I don't care what you have to say, you are still single, aren't you? And to think that you could have found someone if you just listened to me back then. Back then? Emma, what do you mean by that? Oh, come on, have you really forgotten? You know, high school prom? When they announced prom king and queen, you know what they say about that, right? That the winners always end up getting married to each other. I tried to give you a nice spa day so that you might have even had the slightest chance, remember? Oh, I remember what you're talking about now. If I can be honest, that was one of the worst days of all of high school. For you, maybe. But I guess I didn't do a good job because you're still single. I mean, that's the whole reason why I wanted to help you back then in the first place, but no matter how much I tried, nothing could fix how ugly you really were. And I suppose that's why I ended up being voted as prom queen. Meanwhile, everyone in the audience was laughing at you because of how ridiculous you ended up looking. Well, you remember things very differently from me. I remember not even wanting to go, but you practically forced me to sign up. Then, I remember you saying you were going to give me a makeover and you only finished with minutes to go before the winners were announced. By the time I let you have your way with me, I looked like a clown with all the makeup you put on me. And you used that old urban legend about the prom king and queen getting married to convince me to tell that year's prom king that I had a crush on him. It sounds to me like that's all your fault for letting me manipulate you so much. You really need to take more responsibility for your actions. Besides, think of all the funny memories you have to look back on now. Well, I didn't even have to open my mouth to be rejected by him, but he did it in front of the whole auditorium of people. It was one of the most horrible and saddest days of my entire life. Oh, come on. Surely you've had worse days of your life since then, right? I mean, this is a pretty low point for you, sneaking into a wedding you weren't invited to and all. I feel like you'd have to have sunken quite low to sneak into a wedding to look for a man. You must really, really be desperate. Are you kidding me? You really haven't changed at all since high school, have you? Why change something that's already perfect? But the fact of the matter is that you don't belong here. I never asked for any fat little piggies to be at my wedding, so why don't you run along and go back to your sty, I'm afraid we have a strict no fishing policy, so pack up whatever you thought you were going to use to get men and turn around. You are going to regret this. You can't keep treating people like this and get away with it. Excuse me? Did you seriously just talk back to me right now? How dare you? Don't you remember what happened in high school? There you go again, talking as if high school is the be-all end-all of everything. Up until today, I had moved past all the horrible times I had in high school. Here I thought you might have changed too, and we could talk as adults, but I see that you're just as terrible as you've always been. But you're going to learn a harsh lesson about treating people with respect. How dare some ugly little loser talk to me like this? You think I need to sit here and take this from you? I want you out of here right this instant. If you're not gone in 30 seconds, I am going to call the police and have you dragged out of here.
Miss Bellevue, I heard that you went home early? Did something happen? Is everything okay? Is it trouble at work or something like that?
Hello, Xavier. I thought I told you to call me Francine when we're outside of work. But anyways, I have some things I need to attend to, but thank you very much for inviting me.
I'm sorry. I don't understand. Did something happen? Did I do something wrong?
No, it isn't you at all. Anyways, I really should be leaving now. But please stop by my office and show me pictures of the rest of the wedding later.
I'm still really confused, but if it's a personal matter that you don't want to talk about, I respect that.
I really don't know where this company would be if it didn't have a VP like you looking over it. You always know just what to say, you know that?
I appreciate it, boss, but you're the one who's really at the wheel. And I guess I'm just a bit down because I wanted to introduce you to my fiancé. Do you think you could stay for a little bit while longer, please? At the very least, you have to take a bag of goodies that we have for the guests.
Sure that that's okay, even though I'm leaving early?
Of course. I mean, we already prepared enough for all who are going to be here, so there's one for you already. I was actually up all night last night making sure that these were perfect. So all these gifts are done by hand.
Oh, wow, that's amazing. I really can't wait to see what's inside then, but if it's something you made by hand, I'll be sure to cherish it. I am just so sorry that I'm having to head out of here so early.
Well, I'm just glad that you were able to attend at all. It really is the thought that counts anyway, you know? But just stay put. I'm going to run out of the changing room really quickly to give you the gift bag in person. I'll be right there, so don't leave yet, okay?
Hey, Emma, you're still a part of the group chat with everyone from high school, right? Well, you might want to go and check out what's going on in there. I put in the chat that you showed up without even being invited, and now all kinds of people are talking bad about you. You mean there are people who still use that chat? I removed myself from that group the day we graduated high school. You know, this is why people always thought that you were some kind of awkward little nerd, you know that? It's no wonder you hardly had any friends at all throughout high school. You can only blame yourself for that, though. Well, I see that you really haven't invited anyone at all from our high school days to your wedding, so it's not just a me problem, is it? Oh, come on. You know that all the other people we used to hang out with just ended up getting lame normal jobs. They're all just average. You really think I want my wedding being stuffed up with the stench of mediocrity? No, I'm sorry, but this wedding has a little thing called standards. So no, they weren't getting an invitation either. So you really didn't invite anyone from back then at all, and you still are sending them messages? You do realize just how successful and handsome and amazing my husband is, right? Did you know that he's also starting his own business, too? He's literally the perfect man, and if I invited anyone from high school, they would just spend the whole wedding crying out of jealousy. Either that, or they'd all think like you and just come here looking for men to flirt with. So that's why I didn't invite anyone from back then. And to think that it would have been the perfect chance for you to brag to all of us about your wedding in person. Then again, I guess you really don't care as long as you're looking down on others. You really just don't get how things work, do you? But then what else can I really expect from such a sad little loser like you? I'm not looking down on you. I just happen to know where I am relative to you. That's all. You really are a piece of work. Do you know that, Emma? I don't care what you have to say to me, because the fact of the matter is that I'm going to marry Xavier, and that's that. I'm going to be the successful entrepreneur, and you're getting nothing. My boyfriend can do anything and is going to be the top of his company. No one is ever going to be able to look down on him, and by extension, me. You say that, but do you even know what it is that your husband does for a living? It sounds to me like you don't even really care as long as it makes you enough money to give you the life that you want. Well, no duh. Why would I need to know anything more about what he does than how much money he makes? After all, my only job is to stand there and look pretty for him. It really doesn't matter to me one bit how he makes his money. I just have to be there and cheer him on in order to earn my keep. I guess maybe this is all a bit too much for you to wrap your head around, though. You really just don't know when to quit, do you, Emma? I just mean that if you could have found a man by now, you would have, don't you think? Instead, you have to come here desperately looking for someone to have you. It really is sad when you think about it, but the fact is that you're never going to have a family of your own. You're going to be lonely for the rest of your life.
And just what makes you say that about my boss, huh?
Wait, what? What do you mean? Who is your boss?
I mean that you're saying all these horrible things about my boss and my friend. But I guess I might have just let myself be taken in with your charms, and that's how I agreed to marry you. You must be quite good at getting close to people by making them think you're someone who you really aren't. But now I know exactly how you feel about me in this marriage.
Wait a second, I am still so confused right now. Who am I talking to? This couldn't be... It's not Xavier, is it?
Of course it is. And I heard from Francine that she was leaving our wedding early to go and take care of some business. I went out to go and give her one of the gift bags I made before she left, and that's when she told me what really happened. How could you try and do this to my boss?
Hold on a second. You mean to tell me that Francine is actually your boss, and she's the friend you started your company with?
You have it backwards there. Francine started the company and invited me on board to work as VP.
Wait, what? You mean that you two knew each other even before working together? But I didn't even know that you started your company with a girl. I thought it was a guy friend.
And just why would that matter at all in the first place? I came to work with Francine because I know she has a great mind for business. I'm just shocked to hear all of these horrible things that you've been saying about her, though.
There's been some kind of mistake here, really. I had no idea that she was your boss or anything like that. I didn't even know that you two were friends before this. I mean, what in the world is someone like you doing being friends with her?
Oh, give me a break. You know that Francine and I are friends. I told you that I was going to be inviting her to our wedding. Don't you know how much she's done for me? Not just professionally, but in my personal life too?
Hold on a sec, I still don't even get how you two met in the first place.
Don't you remember in high school, when I won prom king? I think I had girls coming up to me multiple times a week begging me to go out with them. I know that people think I'm really handsome, and that must be great for me, but it's not that simple. It comes with a lot of pain too.
What do you mean? How could it be hard to be handsome?
So many people come up to you just to say they like you when you don't even know who these people are. Not just that, but to have to turn down so many people who wanted to go on a date with me. Don't you know how much that makes me feel guilty? And then, when I wouldn't find a girlfriend, people started accusing me of sleeping around with people since I was still single. It's just so many people assuming so much about my life when they don't even know me.
But, I mean, at least you're not ugly. That's a good thing. Surely you can see how being handsome is so much better, right? And if you weren't, then you wouldn't be getting married to a gorgeous woman like me.
You and every other gorgeous girl I've been with seem to have the same mindset. And anytime I've brought up these struggles to them, they always tell me to be thankful for what I have. All that tells me, though, is that I still haven't met someone who actually listens to what I have to say.
Hold on, I didn't know that this was such a big deal for you.
I was scared to love for so long because I was worried that people were falling in love with the idea of me, and not me for who I really am. It took me so long to want to be married, and so much of the credit for that goes to Emma, who was always there to talk to me and never asked anything from me in return. That's what a real friend does. She helped me remember what it means to trust people.
You don't really mean that, do you?
Of course! She's always giving me great advice, and even after high school helped me step into myself. We also realized we had similar ambitions, and so when she started her company, she said it was a matter of course that I would be her VP pick.
But, I mean, I had no idea that someone like her would be your boss.
Well, you better start believing in it. Francine has easily put in the bulk of work to get us where we are. She's the brains behind the whole operations, and as the VP, she taught me how to use people's assumptions about me to my advantage.
I don't even know what to say to any of this right now.
Well, I'm not there yet. Francine told me all about what you put her through in high school. How horribly mean you were to her. I really had no idea at all that I was about to marry the person who traumatized Francine throughout high school. Well, I'm sorry, but I just can't marry a woman like you now that I know who you really are. Francine came here as my guest and you've been nothing but disrespectful to her and by extension me. I want to call the whole wedding off with you.
You don't really mean that, right? I mean, the ceremony's going to start in a matter of hours. Please, let's just calm down and talk about this, okay?
There's nothing more to talk about and I am perfectly calm. Anyways, I'm going to go break the news to everyone right now that the wedding is canceled. I don't know what you're going to do next, and frankly, I don't really care. Have a nice life, Emma.
In the end, Xavier managed to stop the wedding before things went too far and he and Emma ended up married. It was a huge shock for all of the guests, but Xavier had explained the situation to both sets of parents and they agreed to spread the news and explain things to the rest of the guests. Soon, however, everyone at the wedding venue knew what Emma had done and said to me. By then, however, Emma had run away from the wedding venue to avoid the humiliation of what was about to happen. She managed to talk her parents into letting her move back in with them, but they both gave her a stern talking to and expressed how disappointed they were with her. And since Emma had put all of her baskets into marrying Xavier, she was really left with few alternatives. She'd quit her job and already ended her apartment lease since she was planning on moving in with her then-fiancé. Left with nothing and no one, Emma had to quickly take the first jobs that she could find in order to pay the rent to her parents, who told her they were not going to be letting her freeload off of them after her behavior at the wedding. I just hope that working a few service industry jobs really humbles Emma and helps her understand why it's wrong to look down at people. As for Xavier and I, things more or less went back to business as usual for us, as we continued on trying to build up our company. We have some interviews for the news and some magazines coming up, and I've asked Xavier if he could use his charms to help sell our company to the public. It took a long time, but I'm glad that Xavier is now comfortable enough with himself to make use of his own looks on his terms. Of course, he was very sad that his wedding didn't come to be, but he said that he was much more relieved that the two of them didn't end up married before he found out. We're still close friends, and Xavier knows that I'm there for him. But business stops for no one, and time is money. But just because the work doesn't stop, it doesn't mean I have to ignore my friend when he's hurting. Xavier may have lost his wedding, but our friendship is stronger than ever.
Hey, Tina, you there? You need to get home from the office right now. I'm about to go to a wedding, so hurry up.
Hold on a second, you're going to a wedding?
Yeah, I totally had no clue that Valerie was getting married today. But I just got a call from my parents and they were super pissed and asking where I was. They were asking why weren't we there at the wedding already.
But wait, I don't get it. I thought that Valerie's wedding was next month. I mean, that's what was written on the invitation we got at least.
I know. At least that's what I thought the invitation said anyways, but guess it was today this whole time. Anyways, just hurry back here so that I can drive us to the wedding venue. How soon do you think you can get back here?
I don't know. I have to ask my boss about this first, and then I'll be home as soon as I can. I think on the bus, though, it'll probably take me a whole hour before I can be back.
An hour. Got it. I got our clothes and everything ready here, so just please try and get back home as fast as you can.
I can't believe that my brother and his wife are really going to miss my wedding. It's just such a shame, really. I suppose we just didn't realize how little you two care about us. Oh, quit the act, Valerie. I don't know why you did it, but the invitation you sent us had the date as a month from now. But now we find out that you're actually getting married today. Why didn't you tell us sooner? I have to leave work early. Well, you should know that it wasn't any kind of accident. I gave the two of you the wrong date on purpose. Excuse me? Why would you do that? What's your problem? I'm just so glad that you passed along the wrong date to my brother so that he didn't go and ask my parents. You made it so easy for me. And now, without you two here, I feel like I can finally have the wedding I've always wanted. You're still not making any sense. Why did you tell Dean and I the wrong date? Why don't you want us there? Isn't it obvious? It's because I hate the two of you. You're always trying to act so young, but you're really not. What does that even mean? I don't get it. It doesn't matter. The real point is that today is all about me, and if I don't want people I hate to be at my wedding, then that should be fine. But I literally don't get what you mean about me not acting my age. I think I act pretty normal. Are you kidding me? Did you really just say that? You're in your 30s and you're still dressing like you just turned 20. You really think that you're fooling anyone at all with your young woman routine? You think you can still get away with wearing skirts? Sorry you didn't want to invite me to your wedding because I still wear skirts. Is that really what makes you think that I tried and act younger than I am? Well, duh, you think that an old hag like you should really be wearing things like that? Obviously, only women in their 20s should be wearing skirts. But I wish they could make it a law so that we could deal with rule breakers like you. I don't even think that's a rule for anyone. I think you just made that up. You really are just so cringy. Do you realize that? I mean, honestly, why would you even try wearing a skirt? But the worst part was when my future in-laws came over and you were in a skirt. They both said that you looked nice in it. But obviously I would look much nicer than you in a skirt. I really don't even know what to say to that. I just want to know why they gave you a compliment and not me. Why did they even bother coming over to my family's house if they weren't going to compliment me? Instead, they gave an old woman like you more compliments. Look, Valerie, I know that you and I don't really have a good history of getting along, but I think that you're taking things just a little too far with this, don't you? I don't think that I'm taking it nearly far enough. I'm only starting to get all this off my chest, but to be honest, I just can't stand you. You're always having so much fun talking to Josh's mom, but you're always leaving me out. You never invite me anywhere or even try to make conversation. Are you talking about the time I was helping Josh's mom in the kitchen? You know that she was getting ready to serve a bunch of guests, right? I was only helping her, but I can ask if you'd like to give a hand next time as well. I don't want to be stuck in the kitchen doing chores with you. I hate cooking. How do you not know this about me after all this time? Just because it's what you do to kiss up doesn't mean that I like it. And I hate that even though you can cook, you still have to pretend like you're younger than you really are. I hate it all. Well, Valerie, I really just don't know what to say to you then. You don't need to say anything. I'm just letting you know why neither of you are invited to my wedding. You can both just sit at home and wait for us to get back. And don't bother trying to get in. I'll have security throw you out the moment you step foot inside the venue. Dean, I am really so sorry about this, but I think that we weren't invited to the wedding because of me. I'm so sorry that you're having to deal with this because of me, though.
What do you mean? How was any of this your fault?
Well, I was talking to your brother's fiancé just now, and I think she really does hate me. She was talking about how she was upset because she thinks your mom likes me more than her. She was calling me names to make fun of my age, and she said she gave us the wrong date on purpose.
You kidding me? What's that problem?
Again, I really am so sorry about this. I never wanted you to get caught up in any of this.
Come on, you know that you shouldn't be apologizing for this. Besides, Val hates me too.
What do you mean by that?
I mean that when after my parents called me, I got a message from my younger brother Josh, and he was saying that since we're gonna miss it, he's finally gonna be the favorite son. I think you and I was set up.
You don't mean that, do you? Do you really think Josh would do this?
He's always had it out for me, if I'm being honest. He was always doted on as the youngest child by your parents. He was so spoiled that our parents didn't even care when his grades started to slip. Then he didn't even go to college and still lives at home. I guess he's always been envious of me for working hard, going to a good school, and finding a job with a big company. I think this was his way of trying to get back at me for that. So it seems like this might have happened no matter what.
But that's awful. I know the three of you have your history, but to do something like this?
I know, but if they don't want us there, then let's just miss the wedding. Why bother going there when we're gonna be hated?
Yeah, I guess you're probably right about that. Seems like we don't have any other choice. Although I guess we should probably explain a bit about what happened to your parents later. Wow, I can't believe that you two actually didn't come to the wedding. You do know how pissed my parents are, right? You realize how bad it looks that Dean, the oldest son of the family, wasn't there for a big event like this, don't you? Well, if that's how people chose to read the situation, there's nothing we can do about it. But don't worry, we hope to clear this all up by explaining the truth to Dean's family. What good do you think that's going to do? You should know that we were talking to my parents and they said they'll let us move in with them. I know they've already asked you and Dean so many times, but that you've always turned them down. They were so happy when we said yes that Josh's mom actually cried. So now that we're taking over the duties to take care of them, there's not even a point to having Dean around. So then you're really going to go and move in with Josh's parents? Of course, I've already talked it over with Josh. He figured that after how expensive the wedding was and how much money our honeymoon is going to cost, this is a good way to save money for now. And since we're going to live with his parents, I'll finally get to prove that I'm the better wife than you. So then, you're doing this all just to try and impress your new in-laws? Is that it? I just refuse to lose to an ugly old hag like you. I'm the younger, prettier wife, and I'll prove to my in-laws that I am more capable too. I really have no idea where this urge to compete with me even came from. I don't care what you think. Now that we've done this, it means that Josh's parents are going to provide for us forever. It all works out though, since Josh hates his own brother so much. I can't believe that you two would actually conspire to do something like this. But fine, if you two really hate us that much, then we get it. Maybe we should just not talk to each other anymore. That sounds perfect. We'd love to cut you both out of our lives, after you give us a wedding present, that is. Although since we've agreed that I don't have to see you again, you can just mail a check. Sound good? You're kidding me, right? You don't invite us to your wedding, tell us that you never want to see us again, and still expect a gift? Think of it as a fee to finally get rid of us forever. I think something like $5,000 should cover it. You want Dean and I to give you $5,000? You think that you can buy Josh and I off for cheap? Sure, we want to get rid of you two as well, but you still gotta pay. Besides, this is our wedding gift. Are you really too cheap to afford a measly $5,000? I can't even deal with you right now. I'm going to quit responding to these messages. Well, good riddance then, and tell Dean that he isn't allowed to talk to us either. Oh, that's just fine. Dean says good luck to you both. Especially you. He says he doubts you'll last a year living with his parents. Excuse me? What is that supposed to mean? You really have no idea what you've agreed to, do you? Anyways, have a nice life. Wait a second, you can't just say something creepy like that and then just run off. I'm not saying it's going to be a cakewalk, but I'm ready to put in some hard work to do this. Oh, you really don't even know the half of it, but I'll tell Dean about the $5,000. What the heck kind of house is this? We just got back from our honeymoon and it's already a disaster. Every day from sunup to sundown, Josh's mom is always nagging me to do some chore, correct some mistake I did doing another chore. Well, I wished you good luck, didn't I? But yeah, their mom is pretty traditional when it comes to living with a daughter-in-law. Traditional is one thing, but this is just too far. And I don't get it. I thought you and Hillary got along. I thought we would have gotten along if I moved in too, but she's always nagging me. Oh, I'm sure it looked like we did get along to someone watching us talk. But the fact of the matter is that I know exactly what you're going through. I hate having to go over to their house for events. What do you mean? I had no idea you felt that way. Of course, I'm always stuck inside the kitchen helping Hillary make this and that. And she never utters a word of thanks. She just takes it for granted that I'm supposed to be there helping her. You're kidding me. I didn't know any of that. In fact, I was always jealous of you. You just got to sit on the couch while we were in the kitchen. You never had to do anything. So when you said that you were going to be moving in with them, you have no idea how happy I was. Especially since now we won't have to keep sending them money every month. You were sending their parents money every month? That's right. We were sending them about $1,000 a month, basically. But then we got a call from Hillary and she told us about you two moving in. She said that she wouldn't need our money anymore and that we could stop sending it. So thanks for that too. So then, You were sending them $1,000 a month, but now you're not going to? Maybe you could give us that money instead, since Josh and I are moving in. Yeah, we could do that, especially since they're probably expecting you and Josh to cover all of their bills. Excuse me? Cover their bills? Are you serious? Well, of course. Surely you've heard about why Dean and Josh didn't get along, right? Josh was always his parents' favorite and was spoiled with whatever he wanted. Dean, on the other hand, had to work really hard. But his efforts sent him to a good school and eventually landed him into a great job. Josh never liked how successful his older brother was, and so that's where the bad blood came from. Yes, of course I know about all of that, but I thought that it was Dean who was always looking down on Josh because he thought he was better. Ah, is that how Josh tells it? It is true that Dean makes a ton of money, and that is why his parents asked him to help. Of course, Josh was also the beneficiary of that since he was living with his parents. I suppose he probably didn't even know of the help his brother was giving, but now that you're both living there, you're going to find out. So thank you so much for making it so easy to finally cut ourselves off from Dean's family. But, I mean, this isn't what I had in mind when I agreed to move in. I know, isn't life funny like that sometimes? Anyways, I'm sure if you work hard, you'll worm your way into Hillary's heart. But, like I said, good luck with everything. Well, I just finished having a little chat with Valerie. I think she finally understands what she's gotten herself into. Of course, she wasn't happy to hear about it in the least.
Yeah, I was actually just talking to Josh right now about it too. When he heard about the money we've been sending, he was so upset about it.
Yeah, I guess neither of them had any idea at all that we'd been doing that. But I guess they found out since telling your parents they were going to be moving in. Although I can see us getting sucked into even more drama, so what do you think about moving away, Dean?
Tino, I was just gonna ask you the same thing. I think this is the perfect chance to go to a new city, get new numbers, and start over. Then they can't ever find us and try asking for money again.
Perfect. I'm so happy we're on the same page with this. I guess I should probably go and find a real estate agent so we can start getting everything ready.
Great. And we can find some places to look at this weekend. This is gonna be great.
I can't take it anymore. I'm seriously at my limit. What kind of life is this? All I want to do is move out. Oh, shoot. Dean and I were so caught up in the move, we forgot to change our phone numbers. Move? What are you talking about? Did you and Dean move somewhere? That's right. We moved so we'd never be sucked into Dean's family drama again. And now that we have moved, we are never going to tell you to where. But that isn't fair. I want out of this life. Let me come and live with you guys. Josh and I can take your house and you can come and live with his parents. Yeah, that sounds like an awful deal, actually. Besides, I thought I made it clear we didn't want to live with his parents. We don't even want to have to deal with them, or you and Josh at all, for that matter. Dean's parents always made Josh their favorite, and that meant while Dean had to claw his way to where he is now. It was only after they realized Dean was making money that his parents asked for some. But you have no idea how expensive it is for all four of us. $1,000 extra a month could go a long way. Please, can't you help us out? Please, Hillary steals money out of my wallet instead of asking. She's always making me cook, even though she knows I'm bad at it. And she's always putting me down in front of Josh. Valerie, you can do this. I believe in you. I know it's tough, but at least at the end of it all, you'll be able to say that you know how to make a souffle and dust a house properly. Isn't that wonderful? Please, I don't want to have to do any of that. You have to come and rescue me. You have to get me out of here. I am begging you. Rescue you from what? You did this. You were the one who agreed to go and live with your husband's parents. Not only that, but you agreed to do so as a means to try and undercut Dean's as well as my own place in the family. You realize that, right? We don't owe you any kind of help, and you aren't going to be getting it. Anyways, it sounds to me like you have a lot of studying ahead of you, so good luck with that. After that, Dean and I went to the cell phone store and changed out our numbers so that Dean's family and Valerie could never, ever find us again. And after that, we didn't ever hear from them again. Though Dean would still hear from his dad through the family gossip pipeline and could tell that things weren't going too well at home. Apparently, Josh was not as reliable as Dean was for taking care of his parents, according to his parents. According to Dean, he heard that Josh had to finally go and try to find a real job, but could only find something that didn't pay very well. Apparently, even Dean's dad had to go back to part-time work to help contribute to the budget. As for Dean and I, we've been thoroughly enjoying our new life and fresh start. I haven't been anxious about needing to help my mother-in-law host an event, and Dean isn't constantly stressing about making sure he'll make enough to support his parents, too. Hey there, Pam. I just heard the news from Tony. Are you really going to completely renovate the second story at your family home? Tony heard about it from your mom, and he was telling me about how amazing the whole space was going to look after everything was finished. Yeah, we decided to knock down some of the walls and create a much more open feeling for the area. It should be nice. Then we were going to make some changes to the bathroom and even try and build a mini kitchen up there to make living up there easier. Wow, so you're basically going to have 2 homes inside one building, pretty much. Well, we're doing a lot of thinking about how we could make improvements to the house since my parents and I live here with his parents. But yeah, we decided basically to try and create 2 units inside of the one house. That's amazing. I bet that it's going to turn out just super. And I just know that the second floor is going to get some amazing natural light, especially if you're going for an open floor plan. And with some plumbing going on up there as well, it's just going to be the perfect living space. Wow, I would say that you're much more excited about the renovations than some of us here at home are. But it is really fun, I will say. We're going to go to the hardware store and think about paints for the walls. Oh, I bet it's fun. I used to love making my own house on computer games when I was younger. It's so nice just getting to make a space all your own. And just make sure you don't get too carried away and go for some crazy design you'll regret later. I mean, especially since you're just the daughter-in-law living there, you wouldn't want to ruin the house for your in-laws, right? So just make sure you're not running off with your own design ideas and not listening to anyone else's opinion on the matter. Sorry, I don't think I'm quite following you there. What do you mean by that? Well, you're going to be destroying my room in that house, right? You do realize that I grew up in the house, too. I'm sure that my parents have a lot of important memories in the second floor, and I just hope you're being sensitive to their wishes with this. Ah, okay, I think I understand. Well, if you're wondering if I've asked them if it's okay to go ahead with this, they've said yes. I see. But I bet that you're going to put all this money into renovating the second floor and then just keep it all to yourself, aren't you? I hope that you're at least spreading some of the love to my parents, too. I'm sorry, but I still really am not sure what you're talking about with that. Okay, well, you said that you were going to have running water and plumbing installed on the second floor, right? Well, I just hope that that isn't going to affect the first floor in any way. I'm really not sure at all what you're asking. We're working with a team of professionals who aren't going to let one half of the house go without water. Besides, the pipes on the first floor were all replaced about 5 years ago, so there shouldn't be any issues. It was when your mom was making some changes to the kitchen at the house back then. And you really think that the pipes haven't gone at all bad in the last 5 years? That means they've been there since before the last Olympic Games. Is that a metric that plumbers use when considering the age of pipes? I'm just saying that I hope you remember to renovate the whole house and not just the second floor. I'm sick of coming over and looking at all the old appliances on the first floor, so make sure you're changing everything. I really don't think that there's any real practical need to do any of that at all, really. Oh, and if you're going to renovate the first floor kitchen, then you might as well buy all new table and chairs as well. Just make sure that whatever you do for one area, you do for the other. And you have to remember that my parents are getting old, so make sure you do something to open up the first floor plan as well, got it? Okay, no, hold on just a second. None of that is going to be happening at all. We have a budget and a plan for what we're going to make changes to. If we add on the whole first floor, then that's basically building a new house from scratch. I appreciate your suggestions, but the renovations are going to be between my husband and I and your parents, okay? Are you really sure about that? You know that I'm only mentioning all of this because I want you to care about my parents, right? Are you really saying you don't care about them enough to do this? It has nothing to do at all with any of that. Why would you even say that? Well, it's just that my parents are going to be retiring soon, so they're only going to have their pensions to live off of. I figured the least you could do as their daughter-in-law is help fix up their house. I mean, after all, they're being kind enough to let you and my brother live there with them, right? Bianca, I know what you're trying to do, but I've already told you that we've established a plan and a budget, and we're sticking to both. Well, it sounds to me like you're going to need a new budget and a new plan, so hop to it. If you fix up the whole house, it'd be cheaper than doing things one at a time as you need them. And I don't want to hear any excuses about money. It's not like either of you even pay rent there. I know you're both loaded. Hey, Adam, are you there? I think we might need to pause all the construction and go back to the drawing board.
Go back to the drawing board? Pam, why in the world would you want to do that? We just picked out the colors that we're gonna paint the walls.
I know, but I was just talking to your sister, Bianca. I told her about how we were fixing up the second floor of the house, and she told me that we needed to think more about your parents.
And just what is that supposed to mean?
Well, she basically said that anything we were doing for the second floor, we should also do for the first floor as a gift to your mom and dad.
But if we were to redo the entire first and second floor, then we might as well just be building a whole new house. Besides, we already figured out the budget for this and everything.
That's what I tried to tell her, but she insisted that we were doing it all wrong. She said that our budget was too small and didn't take into consideration your parents.
I don't know what she means by that, because our parents already agreed to let us do what we're doing. But I think I might know what's going on here. I think that my parents are trying to use Bianca to get to us.
Get to us? What do you mean by that? I don't understand.
I never actually mentioned any of this to you because I didn't think it'd really come up, but my dad has really started complaining about the house a lot. He's gone off on me about how cold he thinks the toilet is, how bad the insulation is in the house, and has a comment for every little thing around here.
Oh, really? I had no idea about any of that at all.
Well, it's true, and I do my best to try and listen to what he has to say, but I think he thought it might be more effective to get Bianca on his side.
And that's why you think she was telling us to totally renovate the first floor as well? But does this mean that we'll have to renegotiate this whole thing with your parents then? Besides, it's not like your dad doesn't have money. If he wants to change things, he has the means to do it.
I know they have money, but they certainly don't even have enough for the kind of changes that my dad would like to see around here. Well, I'm sure he would love it if we paid for someone to fix up the first floor.
But then what are we going to do about all of this?
Well, I don't know what we can do. My parents are already swimming in debt. They have some from when they got the pipes replaced and when my dad bought his last car, too.
I didn't realize that they still hadn't paid those off yet, though.
Yeah, they may have had some savings once, but not anymore. I think this is partially why my dad hasn't come to us directly about this, though. I think he was probably hoping that we'd come to him offering to do all the renovations that he'd want to see.
But what are we going to do? We've already laid so much groundwork for this.
Well, I don't really know what we can do now. If this is really happening, then we really may as well just go and construct a whole new house.
Adam, you can't really be serious about that, can you?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I also know that Bianca has interests in this as well. She's always complaining about coming back and visiting the house since it's out in the country. And since she knows the house is going to go to one of us, she'd probably love it if you and I paid to make it all brand new in the chance that she gets it.
Well, I guess that all makes some sense. But even so, we just don't have the budget to make those sorts of changes.
Yeah, we do. I'll pay it all. I agreed to take responsibility for the project when we started, and I'm not going to go back on my word now.
Adam, you're really going to pay to have the entire house renovated?
That's right. I don't want you to get any more wrapped up in this nonsense than you already are, so just please let me handle this. Of course, if it's okay with you, I'd still like to be able to ask your opinion on interior design questions. You know that I don't know what I'm doing on that front. Just try and think of a first floor that Bianca would also enjoy.
Got it. Well, I promise you to do what I can. I'll try and make the best house that we can.
Thank you so much, Pam. I knew that I could count on you. I'll call the construction crew soon and talk to him about this.
Oh my gosh, this place looks amazing. This feels like a brand new house. You really went all out with this. I mean, This place looks better than I ever could have imagined it looking. Wait, Bianca, are you in the house right now? Yes. I thought I would pay a little visit to see how things are going. I heard the news from my mom and that the construction is finally complete. Well, yes, the workers did say that they were all done yesterday. Well, it seems to me like you really put some serious work into putting this all together, didn't you? I mean, the design is just so, well, like I said, it's amazing. You really do have a keen eye for this kind of stuff, I'll say that much. Oh, well, I'm very happy that you're so pleased with it. I really did try hard to come up with a nice design. Well, I think you did amazing. I mean, just being here makes me want to move in. Or rather, seeing this is part of why we're moving in. From here on out, we're going to be living here. Wait, what do you mean by that? I don't quite understand. Well, we already brought all our bags here, so my husband and I were going to move into the second floor. But hold on a second. The second floor was renovated so that Adam and I could live up there. There isn't really a spare room in the house where you and your husband could even stay here. And since when were you two thinking of moving in with all of us over here? And just what is so wrong about the daughter of a family coming back to her home to live with her parents, huh? It was fun living away in the city, but it's tough out there. Well, I get wanting a new start, but you can't just announce this all of a sudden. I mean, your parents and I had a lot of agreements that went into these designs. And one of the conditions that we all agreed to when doing this was that you wouldn't be coming back to live here. And just why am I not supposed to be allowed to come back and live with my family? My parents own the house, so if I want to come and live with them again, then I think I have more of a right to make that choice than you. You should be glad to be living with someone like me. Are you serious right now? Do you really think that you can just barge in here and announce that this place is yours? It's always been mine. Besides, we've already brought all our bags and belongings, so it's a bit late to do anything about this now. I don't even know what to say to that. Why would you pack all your things up and bring them here? I told you, it's because I wanted to come back and live with my parents again. I know that they must be getting sick of living with you and Adam. And now that I'm wanting to move back, there's really no need for either of you to even be here in the first place. I'm sure they'll be overjoyed to have me back. Bianca, I really don't know how else to say this to you, but that is not how things are going to work. Adam told me when we got married that we would be living with my parents, but that he would make sure that I never had to suffer because of it. So I really don't think that he's going to agree to just pack up our things and leave after fixing up the home like this. And just who do you think you are to talk to me about my brother? I know him much better than you, and I know how to make him go along with what I want. Besides, don't you know that I'm the elder sibling? He has to obey me because what I say goes. I don't even get why you'd want to move here with your parents. Can you go and live with your husband's parents instead? You can't just show up here and declare that you're kicking Adam and I out of our living space. Well, it kind of sounds to me like I just did, didn't I? And you have no right at all to be disagreeing with me. I've had to put up with Adam since he was little, and now I'm finally going to be taking what is rightfully mine. I'm trying to tell you that it's not going to work that way. You can't just show up and announce that you're living here. Besides, you never ever wanted to come here and live before Adam and I put all the money into the house, so what changed? Can you please just shut up and move out already? How many questions are you going to ask me? Why can't you understand that you've lost and now you've got to leave? You know what? Fine. If this is how you want it, then so be it. Finally! I thought I would never get rid of you. I was worried I'd have to get my mom involved, but I'm happy now that you're just giving it all up. I'm sure my parents and my husband and I will all enjoy living for free in the house that you spent the last several months renovating. Oh, don't you worry about us. After all, it's your parents who are paying for everything. Anyways, I've got to go. Wait! What do you mean that it's my parents who are going to be paying for all of this? I'm sorry, but I've got to get a hold of your brother and the real estate agent. I'll also have to extend the lease on the place we were staying in during the construction. No, wait. I'm trying to ask you a question here. What do you mean about my parents having to pay? I thought that you two paid for everything. Well, yes, we were going to pay for everything that we'd done. Then Adam agreed that he'd pay for it all instead. The loan for the construction and everything was, however, taken out in your dad's name. Why in the world would my dad agree to do something like that? Well, at first we were just going to pay for the whole project in one lump payment. But when it expanded to the first floor, we knew we'd need to take out a loan. So your parents and Adam and I went to the bank, and the bank suggested bundling the loan into the rest of your dad's debt. What do you mean, my dad's debt? I didn't know that my dad had any debt. Well, yes, he does. He has it from when he did his own renovations 5 years ago and when he bought his new car. But he still has debt from doing all of that? That's right. But the banker said that it would be more economic to bundle the home loan in with the rest of his debts in a kind of refinancing plan. And so your dad agreed to it, thinking that it would be Adam who gave him the money to pay back the debt. But I don't understand. Why would he do something like this? Well, that's the thing. Your dad still wasn't keeping up with his own debts, so in the end, Adam agreed to take on all the debt as it became too much for your father. I tried explaining some of the risks that this could come with to your dad, but he wasn't really listening at all. But then, if you two are in charge of the payments and you two just stop paying, then what's going to happen to all that stuff like the car and the house? I imagine you all are about to find out soon enough, actually. After that, I heard from my husband that Bianca reached out to him and was furious about what was happening. I told him I expected that much to happen after all this. Apparently, the bank had sent a notice to the house explaining that if the payments were not continued, they would be seizing the house and the car. Adam's parents only slowly realizing the consequences of their earlier actions. Adam was already upset at them for acting as if they had no idea about any of this. Bianca, however, was even more upset and raged on about how it was unfair that Adam and I were the only ones left unscathed from all of this. Adam agreed to re-sign over the rights to the house and car so that Bianca and his parents could continue their repayments on the loans. But it was only in exchange for the money that Adam and I had already invested in both of those. With little other choice but to agree, Adam's parents, along with Bianca and her husband, are all living together and working hard to come up with the money to pay off these loans. Adam's lawyer said that it wasn't impossible, but that it would take about 30 years for the four of them to do it all. By then, Adam's parents would be in their 90s. Adam and I were sad about how things had to turn out with his parents and sister. But we blocked them on any kind of social media and used the money we got from them to move to a different city where we wouldn't have to deal with them. We found a decent plot of land with a nice starter home on it and began yet another round of renovations. This time, however, we were only following our own blueprints and nobody else's. It may have taken a long time, but I'm excited to finally have my dream house with the man I love. We've more or less lost all contact with the rest of Adam's direct family, but we'll still hear rumors about them coming from distant relatives and the like. Apparently, the four of them decided to sell Adam's dad's new car for a much older model that they could actually afford. They were doing all they could to cut back on costs and escape their debt. I only hope that this experience can at least teach Bianca and her husband a lesson about having respect for others' hard work and not acting so entitled without the authority to back it up. In the meantime, however, Adam and I will still be working on making our dream house a reality as we work hard to follow our plans and stay within budget.
Hey, sis, when are you coming to pick up Timmy? I was only looking after him today, right?
Sorry, Johnny. About Timmy. I can't pick him up today.
Huh? What do you mean?
I mean just that. I can't come and pick him up today.
You mean you want him to stay here tonight too? I have work tomorrow. I was happy to have him until today, but I do have my own responsibilities to take care of, you know. He can't stay here another night.
Figure something else out then. In any case, I don't want him anymore.
Huh? You don't want him anymore? Wait, let me get this straight. You're saying you don't want Timmy anymore?
That's right.
But he's your son! What are you talking about? Is this some kind of joke?
I finally realized that kids are nothing more than a nuisance and serve no purpose other than to annoy me and get in my way. It's not like his dad's around to help me. Why should I have to do everything all on my own? I can't. And I won't.
Wait, what? None of what you're saying is making any sense, Nora. You're the one who decided to raise him on your own in the first place. Me and Mom still don't know a single thing about who the dad is. Anyway, whether we know who the dad is or not, whether you're a single mother or not, how's it fair to change your mind like this now?
Sure, I might have said that, but I changed my mind after actually trying it out and realizing what a pain in the ass kids really are. I'm not cut out for this. Nope. Nuh-uh. I'm sick and tired of it already.
But you've been working so hard. Don't say things like that. He only just turned 5. He needs you. You're his mom, and he needs you, Nora. What's he going to do without you?
He'll be fine. The fact of the matter is, I don't need him, and it's as simple as that. I have no freedom with a little twerp to look after. I might not physically be in prison, but I'll be a prisoner for as long as he's around. What's worse, no hot guys are gonna be interested in me when they find out I've got a brat. I'll never be happy as long as Timmy's around.
I know raising a child is tough, Nora, but don't you think this is going too far? What you're saying is cruel and selfish. Timmy hasn't done anything wrong and he doesn't deserve this. Can we meet up? I want to talk to you properly. Maybe Mom and Dad will offer you some support when they realize how much you're struggling.
They'll obviously just get angry and shout at me like always. Why would I want to talk to them? No way.
Nora, I'm begging you, please, don't abandon your son like this.
Johnny, do you want me to be unhappy?
Feelings come and go. One day you're on cloud 9, the next you're down in the dumps. Isn't that just how life goes? No one can avoid feeling like crap sometimes. Rich or poor, parent or not. Besides, happiness is a matter of perspective. Sure, you might be feeling all down and hopeless about the future right now, but you're still his mom, and that means you have a responsibility to him.
I gotta say, I'm really disappointed in you, Johnny. I thought you of all people would be on my side on this one.
It's not about taking sides, Nora. I'm just thinking about what's best for that little boy. Sure, I've always had your back until now, and it's not that I don't want to be there to support you. It's just, this is different. Surely you realize how serious this is. I think you're making a huge mistake. Please, won't you take some time to reconsider?
Oh, it looks like boarding's about to start. Sorry, I have a plane to catch. I'll put his insurance papers, birth certificate, and other important documents in your postbox. I don't know if you'll know what to do with them all, but you can just shove them in your chest of drawers for the time being. I'm sure you'll figure it out when the time comes.
You're about to get on a plane? Is this a joke? Are you actually dumping your son on me? Could you at least tell me where you are? Where you're going?
If I told you, you might try and bring me back. So I'm gonna keep that one quiet if you don't mind. The bottom line is, I'm sick of Timmy and I want out. I'm done being a mother. I hereby hand in my letter of resignation. See ya, sleepless nights, stress and no social life, and hello, freedom! Woohoo! Good luck!
What? Just you wait 1 second. Will you come home? Are you at least going to stay in touch? Nora, reply to me, damn it!
Hey, Johnny. It's been a while.
Wait, is that Nora?
Yep. Sorry I didn't get back to your messages all this time.
You blocked us all, didn't you?
I had no choice. My hands were full. I have my own life to live, you know.
So you had your whole family blocked for 3 years, so you think you could just brush it off with, I had no choice? Do you have any idea how hard things were for us because of what you did?
I'm not kidding, Johnny. I really didn't have a choice. I was at my breaking point. Anyway, how's Timmy doing? Is he well? No way. Please tell me you didn't put him in a foster home.
Like hell we do that. He lives with Mom and Dad now.
Huh? Mom and Dad? Not with you?
He did live at my place for a little while. But Mom and Dad said they thought their place was a better environment for a kid to grow up in and offered to take him. It's bigger, there are more people there, plus there's a dog for him to play with, so it was an easy decision. Plus, work was hectic for me because I had to do constant overtime. There were some days where I got off later than even the extended hour daycares were willing to have him. So needless to say, it was a stressful period for all of us. Now we all live together at Mom and Dad's place.
Wow. So now you're all playing happy families, huh? I guess I can't say I'm surprised. Mom and Dad always were especially fond of you.
What? No way. They never treated us any differently.
You must be joking. They were always cold as ice with me.
That was only because you hid the pregnancy from them. The only time you ever spoke to them was when you wanted money. How did you expect them to react when you were treating them like your personal ATM? Even I have to admit, you said some pretty horrible things to them back then.
I had my reasons.
Maybe so, but you should have discussed those reasons with your family instead of putting up a potential brick wall around yourself and refusing to engage in any kind of meaningful communication with us. Anyway, does any of this really matter now? Why did you message me? Surely there's a reason for you messaging me out the blue like this.
Listen, Johnny. The thing is, I want Timmy back.
Wow, are you serious?
Of course I am. Why wouldn't I be? Is there something wrong with wanting to be with my own son? It is my right as a mother.
I'm pleased to hear you're safe, Nora. We were all worried when you disappeared from the face of the earth like that. But there's no denying it. We can't trust you anymore. You lost your right to be a mother when you dumped your son on me and pulled the Vanishing Act. You abandoned him, and nothing you say will change that. Do you really think we can forgive you? Do you really think we can pretend it didn't happen? Can you at least tell me you know what you did was horrible?
Yes, it was. I know that. But Timmy is still my son. It wasn't easy for me, you know? We might have been apart, but not a day went by where I didn't think of him.
Even still, 3 years is a long time.
Timmy hasn't forgotten me, has he?
No, he remembers. But I don't get the impression he misses you an awful lot or feels sad about you not being around. He didn't really understand what was going on back then, you know? You're nothing but a distant memory to him now. His memories of the years he spent with us are a lot stronger.
I see. Whatever, I'm taking him back.
No, Nora, you're not. You need to discuss this with Mom and Dad first. You don't get to just show up barking orders at us after dumping your son on us and disappearing for 3 years.
There's nothing to discuss. He's 8 years old.
So?
I just arrived at Mom and Dad's neighborhood. I'll be at the house soon. Listen for a knock at the door.
No, Nora, just wait. We won't let you abduct Timmy. You need to talk it through with Mom and Dad first. We can make a decision as a family after that.
God, you're annoying. Button it already. It's up to me what I do with my own son. You will give him back. I don't need permission from you or from Mom and Dad. I'm a free agent, and that boy is my son.
Hey, Timmy. How's it going, little man?
I'm good, Uncle Johnny. Are you okay?
I'm good, thanks. Things have been a little lonely around here without you around. We miss you, champ.
I miss you guys too.
I'm sorry. You shouldn't have to deal with this upheaval due to us dumb adults and our dumb adult problems.
But if I don't live with my mommy, some important men in suits will be angry with me. Mommy said it's the law for me to be with her. Is that right?
Right. I guess she is your legal guardian. But I want you to know you're still welcome here anytime. It's a long way, but don't sweat it, because your Uncle Johnny will come over in the car and have you over here in a jiffy. It's summer break soon. So don't be a stranger, okay? We could get to pull out in the yard and have a huge water fight. How does that sound?
Really? I love water fights! I wanna come! I wanna!
That's great, Timmy. Like I said, you're welcome here anytime. So how's life with your mom going? Is everything okay?
No! Uncle Johnny, do you know which weeds in our garden I can eat?
Huh? Weeds? Where did that come from?
When I said I was hungry, Mommy told me to go outside and find some wheats to eat. She said she doesn't have as much money as my friends' mommies, so I have to find my own food.
What the? You mean your mom's not even feeding you?
She did cook my meals at first, all sorts of stuff, but she doesn't cook me anything these days. She says I don't need to eat at home because I have my school meals.
You have to be joking me.
I'm not joking, Uncle Johnny. It's true.
Sorry, I didn't mean it like that. I mean, I can't believe your mom would do this to you. What's she doing right now?
I don't know. She didn't come home yet.
She didn't come home? How long has she been out?
She left the other day while I was at school. So,
Friday?
I think so.
So what did you have to eat yesterday?
I brought home the baguette from my school dinner.
Is that it?
Yep.
Oh my god, Timmy. I'm so sorry. Me and your grandparents have been fools. We should have never let this happen.
Huh? Fools? Why?
We shouldn't have let my sister take you back. We should have known she wouldn't change. We should have stopped her. I'm so sorry. This should never have happened.
What's going on, Uncle Johnny?
We made a huge mistake. We made an enormous decision on your behalf without even asking how you felt about the whole thing. Your feelings should have been our highest priority, but we let her get her way. Gah!
What's a priority?
Oh, I'm sorry, Timmy. You're such a sharp kid. I forget you're only 8 sometimes. Listen, did you like living with me and your grandparents?
I loved it! You're all super fun to play with, and everyone's always kind to me. Grandma's cooking is amazing. And I always get to watch my favorite TV shows. You guys are the best!
What would you say if I told you you could come back and live with us?
You mean it? Can I really?
Of course you can. To tell you the truth, we never wanted you to leave in the first place.
Really? My mom told me you guys didn't want to live with me anymore. She said you didn't like me.
No way. She said that? Is that why you stopped messaging us after you left with her?
Yeah.
It's not true, Timmy. We all love you very much. What do you want to do? If you want to stay with your mom, that's fine. But we want you to know you're welcome to live with us. This is your home too. So if you want to come back, just say the word.
Okay, I want to live with you guys again. I want to come home.
Got it. I'm coming to get you. You're coming home, Timmy. We'll never let your mom take you again.
Johnny, do you have a minute?
What is it?
I'm about to tell you something, and I want you to hear me out without getting mad. Timmy's missing.
Since when?
He's definitely been gone since at least yesterday.
At least yesterday? Don't you even know when he disappeared?
Listen, Johnny, to tell you the truth, I've been crazy busy lately. And I haven't been able to spend as much time with Timmy as I would have liked to. I crashed on the sofa and fell asleep as soon as I got home from work yesterday. I was up in the morning before him, and I made him breakfast like usual.
If you made him his breakfast, surely you should know when he went missing?
Well, when I say I made him breakfast, I mean, I bought him a sandwich and some potato chips from the store and left them on the table for him when he woke up.
Wow, you never cease to amaze me.
Don't judge me, Johnny. I'm doing my damn best here. Do you know how hard being a single mother is? What's the problem with buying him breakfast from the store? I don't have time to cook all the time.
That's not why I'm dumbfounded. I'm dumbfounded because your son disappeared ages ago and you only just realized.
Ages ago? Wait a sec. I knew it. He's there with you, isn't he?
Yes, he's been here since last week. What the hell are you playing at? This means you've been gone from the house an entire week and plan to leave your son there all on his own the whole time. Who does this? You're supposed to be his mom. This is neglect.
Jeez, Johnny, don't be so dramatic. Neglect my ass. He's perfectly capable of looking after himself for a little while. He's a bright kid, you know? Besides, I just got home, didn't I? He just happened to be gone when I got back, that's all.
Whether he's a bright kid or not, you left an 8-year-old on his own for an entire week. That's neglect no matter how you look at it. As if that's not bad enough. You tried to make him eat weeds from the garden, didn't you? What's wrong with you? You're seriously messed up.
I never said that. Do you have any evidence?
Sure, maybe I can't prove it.
I know you can't, because that little brat is just lying about me like usual. How dare you take my son from my house without permission? I'm his mom and legal guardian. You had no right to do what you did. If I went to the police with this, I could have all 3 of you arrested. Hurry up and give him back, now.
Go ahead, call the cops. Nothing you say or do could possibly make us hand Timmy back over to you. You're a danger to him.
Are you being serious, Johnny? Are we really gonna do this?
I've never been more serious about anything in my life. We'll fight you to the ends of the earth for custody rights if we have to. Even if you did get the cops involved, we wouldn't be the ones getting arrested.
Huh?
We spoke to child services as soon as we took him into our care. We explained the situation, and they told us that as long as we could prove everything, the court would find us to have been well within our rights to do what we did, and the only one allowed to be arrested is you, for child neglect.
What? You spoke to child services? Are you lying to try and scare me? Who the hell do you think you are, taking my son from me like this?
You tell me! Who the hell do you think you are? You disgusting, selfish failure of a mother! You suddenly dumped your son on us one day, declaring that you don't want him anymore. Then, you randomly show up at our house out of the blue a few years later and tell us you're taking him back, practically taking him by force. Oh yeah, and we know, Nora. We know the only reason you wanted him back was for money.
Money? Don't be ridiculous. You think there's money to be had in being a single mother? Sure, I might get a few government handouts, but it hardly amounts to enough to go out of my way for... Use your brain, moron! If it wasn't about the money, I would have never let you have him in the first place.
It was never about government handouts. It was so you could get money for his dad. Timmy told me he finally met him. His name's Denzel. Now I know why you were so secretive when it came to anything to do with him. Because he's a male stricker. The reason you went missing after you took Timmy 3 years ago is because you were desperately searching for him after he pulled the Vanishing Act on you both in the middle of the night.
What the hell is this delusional nonsense? I feel like I'm reading a plot for a horror movie. The kid needs psychiatric help if he really told you that crap.
Timmy's dad gave him a business card when they met so he'd have a way of contacting him in case anything happened. He told him to give him a call immediately if he was ever in trouble. I gave him a call. He told me everything. You threatened him, didn't you? You threatened to put up a big signboard outside the club he works at telling everyone he got one of the customers pregnant. You said if he wouldn't take you back, you phoned his boss to tell him he hit you. As if that wasn't enough, you threatened to hurt Timmy. You tried blackmailing him into taking you back by threatening your own son.
God damn it, Johnny! Who the heck do you think you are calling my ex like that? Is ruining my life a hobby of yours?
I don't know, Nora. Is ruining Timmy's yours? You fell for Denzel the Stricker a few weeks after graduating college. But you were so worried he was going to leave you. You intentionally got pregnant by pricking a hole in the condom so you feel pressure into marrying you. That's why you kept him a secret from me and our parents all this time, isn't it?
I really liked him, Johnny!
Don't get me wrong. I'm not going to make any excuses for a guy who ran out on his own kid. He's just as bad in his own way. But to use a child to try to trap someone into marry you is another level of twisted.
I had no choice! I have no savings of my own, and he was constantly getting attention from all the other girls at the club. Timmy was my only chance of keeping hold of him. But he disappeared on us. Ugh, god damn him! What's the problem with taking money from a man like that? I even hesitate to use the word man, because he's nothing more than a weasel.
He acknowledged Timmy as his son. He even agreed to pay child support. You should be more than happy with that.
Like hell I'm settling for a measly child support payment. He hurt me, and he will pay. You want to know what's even worse? He's the highest earning stripper at the club, so he could afford to give me way more if he wanted to. I mean, he drives a Lambo, for crying out loud. How is that fair that I only get child support? I'll take that sniveling coward for everything he has.
He has nothing more to give to you. He knows that if he gave you an inch, you'd take a mile. You wouldn't stop until he was homeless, because that's the kind of person you are. I can't say I don't understand where he's coming from. He said if you want to put up your signboard and get him fired, then go ahead. He said he'll be happy as long as Timmy can live comfortably. He may have done wrong, but I think he knows that and wants to make up for it in his own way. You, on the other hand, haven't changed at all since you gave birth to Timmy. If anything, you're getting worse. Don't you feel any shame for using your own son as a tool to get what you want?
Wait, what about me? What am I supposed to do now?
What you do isn't my problem, but Timmy will be living here with us from now on. I somehow got the impression that Denzel never wants to see you again for as long as he lives. He told me he only did as you said because you had Timmy and he was worried you might do something drastic.
Oh, this can't be happening. Oh my god! Do you have any idea how long I looked for him?
Believe me, he would have rather you didn't.
Oh, you can't do this! I'll have nothing left!
You would have never lost Timmy if you had just done your job as his mother and looked after him. You're the one who abandoned your whole family. Everyone who should have been important to you. Now it's your turn to be abandoned. Me, Mom and Dad, even your friends. We were all worried about you, and you betrayed us.
Give me my Timmy back now!
Timmy's never coming back. Child Services said you weren't fit to have custody of him when we told them what you did. You can fight it in court if you like, but you won't get very far. Denzel has all the chat logs. You don't have a leg to stand on. You'll probably get a phone call from Child Services soon.
I gave birth to that boy! I'm his mother! He's the symbol of mine and Denzel's love! Please, Johnny, I'm begging you! Don't do this! I'll raise him properly from now on! I swear!
The symbol of your love? There's no way anyone could believe you mean that after everything you've done. Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you. You might be going to jail soon.
What? Jail? Why?
You threatened to hurt Timmy if Denzel didn't give you money. Like I said, he has all the chat logs, and I can guarantee you there's more than enough to send you down. We have evidence of every last one of your threats, including the one to hurt Timmy.
I'll apologize. I want to apologize to everyone. Please, will you give me a chance? I'll never do anything like this again. I'll be the best mother in the world, the mother he deserves. I know it's taken me longer than it should have, but I realize the error of my ways now. Please, let me make up for it.
Your apologies are meaningless. It's too little too late. You might have not physically laid hands on Timmy, but you still hurt him. You used your own son as a tool to manipulate others into giving what you wanted. Timmy doesn't want you anymore. You're nothing but a nuisance to him. After that, Denzel, Timmy's dad, drove down to the police station and reported his ex-girlfriend's threats of violence against their son. Nora was subsequently arrested and taken away in the back of a cop car. She managed to dodge jail time instead of receiving a hefty fine because it was her first offense. Unfortunately for her, she was in mountains of debt and had already exhausted her options when it came to procuring fresh funds, and unable to pay the fine, she went to prison. I'll admit, I was a little disappointed when I heard she was getting off with a fine. So it was a great relief to hear she was going to prison for failing to pay the fine. Actions have consequences, and it was nice to see justice being done. Her sentence is short, but neither me nor my parents ever intend to have anything more to do with my sister for as long as we live. We most certainly won't be waiting outside the prison when she gets out. She burned her bridges when she betrayed us all. Even though we'll never see her again, I still hope she uses this whole regrettable experience as an opportunity to reflect on her behavior and become a better person. If she ever has kids again, I hope she learns from her mistakes with the first one and raises them with the love and care they deserve. When Timmy came back to live with us, my parents adopted him and took custody rights from my sister. Now, she'll never be able to take him from us again, and we sure as heck don't intend to let her anywhere near him. Some mistakes only need to be made once. We took sympathy on her the first time round when she abandoned him and disappeared. As disappointed her as we were, we chalked it down to the pressure of bringing Timmy up on her own finally getting too much and overwhelming her. As such, we didn't try and take custody, which meant that when she came back, she was able to snatch him from us as quickly as she dumped him. We were naive and careless, and he got her as a result. We'll stop at nothing to make sure that never happens again. Timmy was over the moon when he found out his grandparents would be adopting him as their son. He had a big beaming smile on his face for weeks afterwards. He calls me his big bro now too. He's such a sweet kid. We love having him with us, and every day is a riot with him around. But that doesn't change the fact that his own mother, the person he should have been able to rely on more than anyone in the world, abandoned him in the most callous way possible. Me and my parents are going to do everything in our power to make sure he never has to go through anything like that again. We're going to raise him with the love and affection that he deserves from here on out.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel.